Chapter 351. Have you heard of him? Qin Yu, who had been waiting impatiently, couldn't help but ask. Meng Hong thought for a while, but still shook his head helplessly. He said to Qin Yu, I have never heard of a divine beast called Kuro in the bird clan of the demon realm in the past 200 years. Seeing that Qin Yu was a little disappointed, Meng Hong continued. You should ask Wu Ming. He's the prince of the dragon clan, and the dragon clan's territory is connected to the bird clan's territory. He knows more than me, so maybe he knows something. Qin Yu had just looked at Ao Wu Ming when Ao Wu Ming shook his head helplessly. Qin Yu, you said that Kuro is at least a high-level divine beast? And he only ascended in the past 200 years. Yes, he's at least a high-level divine beast. Qin Yu nodded. Xiao He had inherited memories. This determined that Xiao He was at least a high-level divine beast, and he might even be a super divine beast. You just said that he's a black eagle. Ao Wu Ming had a trace of a smile on his face. Qin Yu nodded. Qin Yu, let me tell you, super divine beasts are extremely rare, and there aren't many high-level divine beasts either. If that Kuro is a high-level divine beast that ascended in the past 200 years, I would definitely know. Ao Wu Ming said resolutely, but I've never heard of Kuro among the high-level divine beasts that ascended in the past 200 years. Qin Yu was slightly startled. Then a thought flashed through his mind and he hurriedly said, Maybe he hid his name. That's also possible. Ao Wu Ming's firm expression loosened. According to my dragon clan's information, there are 3 high-level divine beasts that ascended in the past 200 years. One is Hong Wan, one is from the Rock clan, and the last one is from the Crane clan. There's no Eagle clan at all. So, there's no high-level divine beast that you mentioned. Ao Wu Ming broke Qin Yu's hope again. Qin Yu felt a headache. His heart was also a little irritated, and he couldn't help but frown. That shouldn't be the case. Xiao He ascended at the same time as Fei. If Fei ascended to the Beast clan's territory, why isn't there any news about Xiao He? Xiao He has inherited memories, that can't be wrong. What's going on? Qin Yu's mind was racing. He was also very anxious. Xiao He and Qin Yu had depended on each other since they were young. The relationship between the two of them was extremely deep. Now Ao Wu Ming's words caused Qin Yu to inexplicably feel a trace of panic in his heart. He believed that Ao Wu Ming would definitely not lie to him. The dragon race would never make a mistake about such a small piece of information. Kuro, could he be a super divine beast? Qin Yu asked. Meng Hong, who was at the side, laughed loudly. Brother Qin Yu, let me tell you. There are a total of 4 super divine beasts in the bird clan. 2 of them are from the rock clan. The other 2 are the rainbow peacock and the phoenix. There's definitely no black eagle. Ao Wu Ming also nodded. Qin Yu, if there's a super divine beast in the bird clan, how could I not know? Let me tell you, in the past 200 years, only one super divine beast appeared in the bird clan. It's the golden-winged great rock of the rock clan, called Zhongju. Zhongju. Qin Yu understood in his heart. The strongest person in the mortal realm's chaotic astral ocean, Devil Peng Island's island master Zhongju. Qin Yu naturally knew about him. Other than this Zhongju, there's definitely no other super divine beast. Ao Wu Ming said with certainty. Furthermore, there's never been a super divine beast in the Eagle clan. Unless the Eagle clan got lucky and a mutated super divine beast appeared. Qin Yu's eyes lit up. That's right. Xiao He had the appearance of a black eagle. He wasn't from the Rock clan, nor was he a peacock or a phoenix. He might really be a mutated divine beast from the Eagle clan. Qin Yu, alright, don't think too much about it. Super divine beasts are already very rare. For a special mutated divine beast to appear, that's even harder. In the history of our dragon clan, the only blood dragon that appeared was my big brother. When Ao Wu Ming mentioned his big brother, his expression darkened. In the history of the dragon clan, there was only one blood dragon. Junluyu was shocked. How many years had the dragon clan existed? Not many people knew, but it was definitely an extremely huge number. But after so many years, only one blood dragon had appeared. Even if it's a mutated divine beast, no matter if it's a high-level divine beast or a super divine beast, can't be unknown, right? If it exists, our dragon clan should know. But we don't know. El Wuming's words made Qin Yu feel as if he was struck by lightning. What happened to Xiao He? Qin Yu kept thinking in his heart. At this moment, he was extremely anxious. His second brother, Ho Fei, had the great ape emperor, one of the two emperors of the beast clan, to take care of him. Qin Yu was extremely relieved. But what about Xiao He? Seeing Qin Yu's expression, Ao Wuming, Jun Luoyu, and Meng Hong looked at each other, not knowing what to say. The three of them could see that Qin Yu was extremely concerned about this Kuro. Qin Yu, maybe some of our Dragon Clan's people were lazy and did not gather information about the Bird Clan. Furthermore, the Bird Clan's territory is extremely huge, comparable to the size of the Immortal Realm. With such a huge territory, who knows where that Kuro might be? Ao Wuming advised Qin Yu. Qin Yu took a deep breath, then slowly exhaled. It's okay, don't worry, I'm fine. Although Qin Yu said that, Jun Luoyu and the others still saw that Qin Yu's complexion was somewhat pale. Let's drink," said Meng Hong loudly. Immediately after, the four of them toasted each other. The atmosphere in the lounge immediately became lively. Merely while Qin Yu was drinking and chatting, there was a trace of worry in the depths of his eyes. East Star City was incomparably huge. Qin Yu had never seen such an enormous city before. Even the Blue Flame Star City was a lot smaller than East Star City. Since they had arrived at the Hidden Emperor Star, Qin Yu and Jun Luoyu would not immediately enter seclusion training. Accompanied by the extremely idle Ao Wuming and Meng Hong, the two of them began to stroll around East Star City. At this moment, Jiang Yan, who had been in the Wuming Dragon Mansion the entire time, also came out of the Wuming Dragon Mansion to stroll around East Star City. The group of five strolled around East Star City in a relaxed manner. At this moment, Meng Hong, as the host, began to carefully introduce East Star City to them. This building is called Heaven Connecting Building. It has a total of 9,999 floors. It is the tallest building in our East Star City. Inside this Heaven Connecting Building, there are casinos, auction houses, all kinds of shopping malls, restaurants, tea houses, and places of entertainment," said Meng Hong as he pointed to a tall building that pierced through the clouds. At a glance, this Heaven Connecting Building had already pierced through the clouds. It was simply impossible to see how tall this Heaven Connecting Building was. However, that enormous Heaven Connecting Building still gave off a surging aura. This several hundred miles long enormous palace is the Immortal Mansion Paradise. There are a lot of interesting things inside. When one is bored from training, one can enter this place to relax one's body and mind. Meng Hong pointed to the enormous Immortal Mansion Paradise. The Immortal Mansion Paradise was not very tall. At a glance, one could see countless marvelous buildings inside. The lowest ones only had 1 floor and the highest ones only had 8 or 9 floors. On the wall of this Immortal Mansion Paradise, there was an extremely long dragon carved on it. This divine dragon carving encircles more than half of the Immortal Mansion Paradise's wall. Its length is about 1,000 miles. Meng Hong smiled as he looked at Ao Wuming. The power behind this Immortal Mansion Paradise is mixed in with the Dragon Clan. Ao Wuming nodded and smiled. 50% of the profits from this Immortal Mansion Paradise will belong to my Dragon Clan. The idea of building this Immortal Mansion Paradise was originally proposed by a cultivator. Inside this Immortal Mansion Paradise, there are places to entertain, places to excite, and places to terrify. There are all kinds of uses. Through the marvelous rules of the game and the cooperation of some experts' formations and restrictions, it forms all kinds of interesting and marvelous places. Furthermore, there are places in the Immortal Mansion Paradise that allow cultivators to get closer to nature and feel it. Ao Wuming was clearly very clear about this immortal mansion paradise. Fun fun. Come, let's go in. Jiang Yan's eyes lit up. Qin Yu and the other men looked at each other and smiled bitterly. They could only wait to follow Jiang Yan in. For an entire 3 months, Qin Yu and the rest, under Meng Hong's lead, went to many representative places in East Star City and all kinds of marvelous places. Even Qin Yu felt as if his state of mind had transformed. Sometimes, cultivation did not necessarily require closed-door cultivation. This kind of sightseeing was also a kind of cultivation. Especially for someone like Qin Yu who had almost never rested. Times inside the Wuming Dragon Mansion. After seeing so much in these 3 months, I must say, the cultivators who possess the strength to overturn rivers and seas, not only are they powerful in fighting, they're also exceptional in the construction of cities and all kinds of peculiar palaces. Qin Yu gasped in admiration. A 9,999-story tall building, the Immortal Mansion Paradise, that occupied a circumference of several hundred li. The 1,000-li-long divine dragon sculpture was easy to say, but what if they were really standing in front of them and looking at it? Standing below the heaven-connecting building, and looking at the tall building that pierced through the clouds. Standing in front of the entrance of the Immortal Mansion Paradise, and looking at the endless divine dragon sculpture. Standing in the boundless sculpture gallery, and looking at the tens of millions of lifelike sculptures. Everything, that kind of majestic aura could not help but cause people to tremble. So, the ability of immortals when used in the field of art was even more shocking. This was the immortal, devil and demon realm. A world where heavenly immortals, golden immortals, heavenly demons, demon kings, heavenly demons, demon kings and even emperor-level experts existed. This was a world that far surpassed the mortal realm. This world was bustling, noisy, cruel and callous. Brother Qin Yu, those are all training rooms that I specially built in the nameless cave mansion. You and Luoyu can choose any one of them to train in. There will definitely be no one who will disturb the two of you. Ao Wuming laughed as he pointed to a group of training rooms in the nameless cave mansion. Ao Wuming was not at ease to let Qin Yu and Luoyu train in Meng Hong's place. After all, that was the outside world. In the nameless dragon mansion, it was much safer. Thank you, big brother Wuming. Qin Yu and Jun Luoyu both said gratefully. Closed-door cultivation, closed-door cultivation. All you know is closed-door cultivation. Jiang Yan pouted her little mouth and stared at Qin Yu and Jun Luoyu with her big eyes. Who knows how long the closed-door cultivation will take? I'll be the only one left. Don't worry. I won't be in closed-door cultivation for too long. How long has it been since I reached level 2 Mystic Immortal? I'll come out when I reach level 3 Mystic Immortal. I reckon it won't even take 100 years. Jun Luoyu said with a smile. Qin Yu finally experienced the greatness of the genius Immortal Emperor. Other people would need many years to reach level 3 Mystic Immortal from level 2 Mystic Immortal. Only this Jun Luoyu dared to say that it won't take 100 years. Luoyu, you're purely showing off, purely showing off. Ao Wuming said snappily. Jun Luoyu could not help but reveal a bitter smile. In reality, he really was not showing off. I reckon that my training time is about the same as brother Luoyu's, maybe even a little shorter. Qin Yu said with a smile. He had never told others about his training speed. If he were to tell others that from the time he ascended to the immortal, devil and demon realm to his current strength, Ao Wuming and the others would likely be even more shocked. 3 souls 9 refinements trains the soul. Refining yuanying to increase one's energy. In terms of speed, who could compare with it? Okay, you all should properly train. After all, cultivators have a lot of time. I also have nothing to do. I will not leave the hidden Emperor Star in these 100 years, said Ao Wuming while laughing. Immediately after, Qin Yu and Jun Luoyu each chose a private room and began their closed-door cultivation. Times inside the Wuming Dragon Mansion's private room. Qin Yu sat cross-legged on a praying mat motionlessly. He did not have the dazzling light of other people's cultivation. He did not even need to absorb elemental spirit energy. Qin Yu cultivated as if he was sleeping. In the first layer of the soul space, clouds and mist were rolling about. In this boundless soul space, Qin Yu sat cross-legged in the air. His hands were unceasingly forming the hand seals that contained the great remarkable ability. After reaching the earthly soul realm, the 36 forms hand seals that Qin Yu used were already different. Similarly, the 36 forms hand seals consumed an enormous amount of soul power. It caused Qin Yu to be speechless. Right after forming the first hand seal, Qin Yu felt that his soul power was being crazily consumed. Qin Yu could only slowly form the hand seals. After forming 2 or 3 hand seals, he needed to wait for his soul power to recover before continuing. In order to completely form the 36 forms hand seals, Qin Yu needed an extremely long amount of time. However, the effect was also extremely good. Qin Yu's soul was growing at a speed that Qin Yu could clearly feel. Normally, there were 3 methods to transform one's soul. They also corresponded to 3 types of cultivation experts. The first method was to slowly let one's soul progress with the passage of time. This method's speed was extremely slow. However, its advantage was that it was stable. Many experts cultivated for millions of years, or even tens of millions of years because of this reason. This type of cultivation expert soul had always been very slow to improve. The second method was Epiphany. Epiphany was to let one's soul reach a mysterious state at a certain moment. In that state, one's soul would grow at a terrifying speed. However, that state could only be encountered by chance and not sought. This type of cultivation expert's soul cultivation speed was usually not fast. However, in the moment of epiphany it was extremely fast. The third method belonged to a relatively special group of people. They were usually called geniuses. This group of people did not need epiphany. However, their soul cultivation speed had always been very fast. Although their soul cultivation speed was not as fast as their epiphany, they were still many times faster than the first type of people. Jun Luoyu belonged to the third type of people. Moreover, he was one of the best of the third type of people. Geniuses, the immortal, devil and demon realm had them. However, for a genius to reach level 2 mystic immortal in a few hundred years, he was already considered a genius among geniuses. As for Qin Yu, he did not belong to any of them. His soul cultivation speed was even faster than Jun Luoyu's. Time flew by year after year. The outside world was constantly changing. The dust that covered Qin Yu's body in the secret room was also increasing. Cultivating in the soul space, Qin Yu could not feel the passage of time at all. He only felt that he was slightly relaxed in forming the 36 forms hand seals from Lu Xing's tears. In the past, his soul power could only form 2 hand seals at a time. But now he could form 8 hand seals at a time. Qin Yu was still working hard. As for how many years had passed in the outside world, Qin Yu did not feel it at all. He was already immersed in his cultivation. Chapter 352. Sitting beside the pool, Jiang Yan's white jade-like toes are stirring the pool water. Her lively big eyes are spinning around. No one knows what kind of wicked idea she is thinking of. Boring! Jiang Yan suddenly yells. After yelling, she looks around and sees that no one is coming. She then yells with an even louder voice. Boring to death! Little sister Yan, stop yelling. A gentle and beautiful woman walks over. Qin Yu and your big brother Luoyu are both in closed-door cultivation. Even your big brother Wu Ming is also in closed-door cultivation. After Qin Yu and Luoyu went into closed-door cultivation for 10 years, Ao Wu Ming also has nothing to do and went into closed-door cultivation to comprehend. This causes Jiang Yan, who is very active, to die from pain. At the beginning, she is still able to chat and play with her sister-in-law Lianzhu. However, after a long time, Jiang Yan also loses interest. It's been 50 years. Jiang Yan opens her palm towards Lianzhu and says with her eyes wide open, Big sister Lianzhu, do you see this? It's been 50 years. Qin Yu and big brother Luoyu have already gone in to cultivate for 50 years. I'm almost bored to death, bored to death. Lian Zhu shakes her head and lightly smiles. She pats Zhang Yan's head. Zhang Yan puffs her mouth and doesn't say anything. Don't be anxious. If you really can't wait any longer, you can also go into closed-door cultivation. Once a person cultivates, they won't be able to feel the passage of time. If you bitterly wait here, the more impatient you are, the more uncomfortable it will be. Lian Zhu says with a smile. Zhang Yan shakes her head like a rattledrum. No, I don't like to cultivate. Qin Yu, Jun Luoyu and Ao Wuming. This lady will wait for another 50 years. If you all still don't come out to accompany this lady, humph humph. Let's see how this lady will deal with you all when you come out. Zhang Yan looks towards the direction of the private room and says fiercely. Big sister Lian Zhu, let's go shopping. Let's go. Zhang Yan pulls Lian Zhu's hand and says. Lian Zhu lightly smiles and says with a nod. All right, I know I can't persuade you. Hee hee. Zhang Yan reveals a brilliant smile towards Lian Zhu. Lian Zhu forms hand seals. Immediately, Zhang Yan and Lian Zhu disappear from Wuming Dragon Mansion. This Wuming Dragon Mansion is created by Ao Wuming. Times Wuming Dragon Mansion. Qin Yu's secret room. Qin Yu's body was already covered with a thick layer of dust. After 50 years of cultivation, Qin Yu's clothes and appearance had not changed at all. In the first layer of Qin Yu's earth soul space. In the misty and boundless space, Qin Yu was sitting in the air with his legs crossed. He was currently forming those 36 hand seals that contained a great remarkable ability unceasingly. It was very difficult to form the 36 hand seals. After 50 years of bitter cultivation, Qin Yu's soul power was much stronger than before. He could form 12 hand seals at once. When Qin Yu once again formed the first to 12 hand seals in a single breath and attempted to continue forming the next hand seals, it was as if he was ascending. Qin Yu's consciousness felt as if it was floating. At the same time, Qin Yu's consciousness directly flew from the first layer of the earthly soul to the second layer of the earthly soul. I broke through. Breaking through from the first layer of the earthly soul to the second layer of the earthly soul. This feeling made Qin Yu completely awake. In the secret room, Wang, Qin Yu's body, which was sitting cross-legged, shook. The dust on the surface of his body was all shaken off. The sharp dark star power circulated on the surface of his body. In an instant, there was not a trace of dust on Qin Yu's body. His face was still as cold as it was 50 years ago. His eyes opened. His gaze was even deeper than before. Now my soul realm is much higher than before. It is almost at the standard of a level 4 or 5 golden immortal. I can try to break through from the late stage of the dark star realm to the black hole realm. Qin Yu's face was no longer calm. He stood up. The cultivation of the soul is silent. I can cultivate in this secret room. In order to break through, I need to refine the yuanying of a golden immortal. When the time comes, the energy will surge. It's better to cultivate in the Qing Yu Immortal Mansion. After careful consideration, Qin Yu turned the Qing Yu Immortal Mansion into a speck of dust and placed it in the secret room. He himself entered the Qing Yu Immortal Mansion, breaking through from the dark star realm to the black hole realm. Could he succeed? In reality, Qin Yu was not very confident. After all, the next step after the dark star realm was the black hole realm. This was also Qin Yu's own speculation. Regardless of whether or not anything really happened, everything was hard to say. Within the Qing Yu Immortal Mansion, in the plaza of the main hall of Qin Yu's Immortal Mansion, Qin Yu calmly sat cross-legged in the middle of the plaza. Within the Qing Yu Immortal Mansion, Qin Yu could be completely at ease. Hoo! Opening his mouth, an extremely hot blue flame revolved around Qin Yu's body. This was Qin Yu's current star primordial flame. Blue heavenly flame. He casually took out a level 7 golden immortal yuanying. This yuanying was the yuanying of the Yen clan's grand elder, Yen Gao. Under the burning of the blue heavenly flame, The golden immortal yuanying that was not controlled by a soul was easily melted. In just a moment, it turned into a ball of golden liquid and began to revolve around Qin Yu's body. Opening his mouth like a whale sucking in water, the yuanying of a level 7 golden immortal was directly swallowed into Qin Yu's stomach. A speck of sand could contain 3,000 worlds. Although the dantian was in the human abdomen, the space within it was also close to boundless. Within the dantian space, at the very core, that extremely small black speck was faintly emitting an astonishing suction force. The energy of the yuanying of a level 7 golden immortal was crazily being devoured. That dark star's volume was slowly increasing. At the same time, some strange changes were happening. On the plaza of the Qin Yu Immortal Mansion, there was no wind, no sound. Only Qin Yu was quietly sitting cross-legged in the middle. It was completely silent. From the outside, it was impossible to tell that the dantian within Qin Yu's body was undergoing an astonishing change. Suddenly, boom! An extremely terrifying and fierce energy like countless flying arrows surged out from Qin Yu's body and shot out in all directions. Disaster instantly covered the entire Qin Yu Immortal Mansion. And at this moment, the defensive restriction within the Qin Yu Immortal Mansion automatically activated. A faint light appeared on the surface of the plaza. Even the palace appeared with light. Rumble. The continuous sounds of explosions resounded. A gale whistled in the plaza, and the space also trembled unceasingly. In the midst of this explosion, Qin Yu started to float. Devour. The energy that was attacking from all directions was actually crazily gathering towards Qin Yu. Not only these energies, even the elemental spirit energy within Qin Yu's immortal mansion was also gathering towards Qin Yu's body. At this moment, Qin Yu was like a whirlpool, devouring countless energies. Inside Qin Yu's dantian, the dark star had already disappeared. Just as Qin Yu had planned, the dark star had finally evolved into a whirlpool that devoured everything. Countless energies were being devoured. The black hole realm, the 8th level of the stellar transformations, was the black hole realm. What the hell is going on? Qin Yu himself was incomparably shocked. He had thought that the 8th level was the black hole realm, but he had never imagined that the black hole realm would be such a black hole. Just now, the dark star had absorbed enough energy and began to evolve, then finally collapsed and formed a black hole. But this black hole was actually like a spatial tunnel, leading to an unknown region. Qin Yu could feel himself crazily devouring all the energy around him. No matter what kind of energy it was, even the elemental spirit energy within the Qin Yu Immortal Mansion was being devoured. If it wasn't for the fact that the Qin Yu Immortal Mansion itself was protected by a defensive restriction, most likely even those elemental spirit ores would have been completely devoured by Qin Yu. When the black hole was formed, an ancient primordial aura that transcended time and space was transmitted over from the other side of the black hole, instantly enveloping Qin Yu's consciousness and merging with Qin Yu's consciousness. Consciousness. The moment that ancient aura merged with Qin Yu's consciousness, Qin Yu could clearly feel his own transformation, a transformation at the origin level. Qin Yu couldn't describe that feeling, but Qin Yu understood. At that moment, Qin Yu seemed to have turned from an ant into a human. Although he was only an infant, he was no longer an ant. The black hole realm isn't stable enough, it needs energy. Qin Yu immediately determined the reason why the black hole was constantly devouring energy. With a thought, Qin Yu, blazing profound ring. Heavenly fire domain. A blue fire dragon flew out and surrounded Qin Yu. The level of heavenly fire released by the blazing profound ring's heavenly fire domain was related to the power of the user. Back when Qin Yu was still in the mortal world, he could only release purple heavenly fire. But now, he could release an endless amount of blue heavenly fire. A level 8 golden immortal yuanying. I want to see if it's enough. Qin Yu directly took out a level 8 golden immortal yuanying from the blazing profound ring, In the early stage of the black hole realm, my power is estimated to be comparable to a level 5 or 6 golden immortal. A level 8 golden immortal yuanying should be enough. That was what Qin Yu thought in his heart. However, what about the reality? That level 8 golden immortal yuanying, under the crazy burning of the blue heavenly fire, turned into a golden stream. Qin Yu sucked, directly sucked into Qin Yu's stomach into the black hole. My God, a level 8 golden immortal yuanying was devoured. But this black hole only stabilized a little, there's almost no change. Qin Yu was shocked by this change. Just to reach the early stage of the black hole realm, how much energy was needed? A level 9 golden immortal yuanying was taken out by Qin Yu. That time on the Maple Moon Star, Qin Yu had obtained a lot of golden immortal yuanying. In Qin Yu's opinion, it was enough for him to cultivate for a long time. But now, just the early stage of the black hole realm consumed so much energy. The level 9 golden immortal yuanying was completely refined and sucked into the black hole. It really is a bottomless pit. Qin Yu's face had a trace of a smile. He was not worried because he felt that after refining a level 9 golden immortal yuanying, the black hole channel in his dantian had indeed stabilized a lot. But now, Qin Yu was still unable to easily control the black hole to stop absorbing energy. I want to see how much you can absorb. I have a lot of yuanying, I'm just afraid you can't absorb it. Qin Yu also became ruthless, starting from the blazing profound ring. He took out 6 yuanying in one go. 3 level 8 golden immortal yuanying. 3 level 9 golden immortal yuanying floated around Qin Yu's body. Under the burning of the blue heavenly flame, they turned into a thick golden stream of water. The nascent souls of 3 level 8 and level 9 golden immortals. With such a vigorous amount of energy being swallowed by the black hole, Qin Yu felt as if the black hole had eaten a great amount of nourishment. Its stability had increased by a leap. But even so, Qin Yu could only control the black hole to slow down or speed up the absorption. He could not control the black hole to stop absorbing. Qin Yu's goal was to make it faster, make it faster, make it stop swallowing, make it stop swallowing. Your appetite is quite big. Qin Yu unceasingly took out nascent souls from the blazing profound ring. He took out one nascent soul after another. In front of Qin Yu's dumbstruck expression, that black hole seemed to accept everything that came to it. After swallowing a total of 30 level 8 golden immortal yuanying, 10 level 9 golden immortal yuanying, the black hole finally had a fundamental change. A golden circle of light began to fly out from the other end of the black hole passage in the dantian. It only flew to a third of the way before it stopped. Qin Yu's mind moved. The black hole suddenly stopped swallowing. Immediately the Qingyu immortal mansion returned to its previous tranquility. Only the concentration of elemental spirit energy had decreased by more than 100 times. It was all swallowed by the black hole. What is that golden circle of light? Qin Yu was puzzled. Although the black hole was powerful, it did not have any suction force on Qin Yu's consciousness. After all, the black hole was cultivated by Qin Yu. Qin Yu's consciousness immediately merged into the golden circle of light. Such pure energy! Qin Yu could clearly feel the fierce energy within the golden circle of light. It was even more condensed and tyrannical than the energy of the dark star. Qin Yu stretched out his finger. A golden energy shot out from Qin Yu's finger, hitting the defensive restriction of the Qingyu immortal mansion. Opening his eyes, Qin Yu stood up with a puzzled look on his face. Although this golden circle of light's energy is pure and vigorous, but just now I refined 30 level 8 golden immortal yuanying and 10 level 9 golden immortal yuanying in one go. The golden circle of light's energy is only about 10% of what I just absorbed. Where is the remaining 90%? Qin Yu's face was filled with endless puzzlement. Suddenly, Qin Yu's eyes lit up. Could it be because of the space on the other side of the black hole passage? Even now, Qin Yu did not know where the black hole passage was connected to. But just now, when the black hole passage was formed, that ancient aura had merged into his consciousness. That feeling of transformation was something that Qin Yu would never forget. What is on the other side of the black hole? Qin Yu was unable to suppress his curiosity. In the end, he decided to go to the other side of the black hole passage and take a look. Qin Yu's consciousness began to move deeper into the black hole passage. Gradually, Qin Yu's consciousness arrived at the other side of the black hole passage, where Qin Yu discovered something that left him dumbfounded. Chapter 353. The Wooming Dragon Mansion turned into a tiny speck and hid in the East Star City of the hidden Emperor Star. As for the Qingyu Immortal Mansion, it turned into a speck and hid in the Wooming Dragon Mansion. Thus, no matter what happened in the hidden Emperor Star, Qin Yu, who was in the Qingyu Immortal Mansion, did not know. The cosmic space is the most difficult to predict. There are some dangerous places that even immortal emperors and devil emperors do not dare to enter. For example, cosmic fragmentary golden stream, extreme ice cold stream, extremely silent heavenly flame stream, and other kinds of terrifying energies. However, at the moment when the black hole formed in Qin Yu's body and connected to another region, the entire immortal, devil and demon realm changed. Cosmic fragmentary golden stream, extreme ice cold stream, extremely silent heavenly flame stream, countless electric snakes, all kinds of extremely terrifying energies rushed toward the hidden Emperor Star like 10,000 horses galloping. This kind of drastic change in the cosmic energies, even golden immortals were able to sense it, much less immortal emperor-level experts. The experts of the immortal realm, devil realm, demon realm, and even some special regions were all shocked. Some hidden experts who were not famous but whose strength was comparable to Emperor Yu were also shocked awake. They all sensed the astonishing change in the cosmic energies. With their strength, they were able to determine the origin of all this. Hidden Emperor Star. The experts of the Indigo Bay star field all determined the answer. The cosmic energies rapidly flowed toward the hidden Emperor Star. At the same time, this news quickly spread throughout the entire immortal, devil and demon realm. In almost half a day's time, all the powers in the immortal, devil and demon realm knew that this astonishing change in the cosmic energies was because of the hidden Emperor Star. The hidden Emperor Star attracted the attention of the entire immortal, devil and demon realm. Times in a certain pink palace in the immortal realm. What's going on? What exactly happened in the hidden Emperor Star to cause the entire cosmic energies to flow? A mellow voice sounded from above the palace. Your Majesty, could it be that the hidden emperor is about to undergo a divine tribulation? A white-haired, white-clothed man below said. The voice above once again sounded. Humph, even if he's undergoing a divine tribulation, how could it cause the cosmic energies to fluctuate in the entire immortal, devil and demon realm? Something extraordinary must have happened. Something extraordinary. The people below the palace looked at each other, not knowing what to say. In the past, the cosmic energies flow had occurred in the immortal, devil and demon realm. However, this time the entire immortal, devil and demon realm. Last time, the cosmic energy flow that affected 2 to 3 star fields was due to the appearance of the bewitching god temple. Could it be that it is even more terrifying this time around? On a barren, uninhabited planet, there was a thatched hut. No matter how strong the winds on this planet were, they couldn't damage this thatched hut at all. A kind old lady walked out of the thatched cottage. Strange. How could the immortal, devil and demon realm be like this? How could there be energy fluctuations that spread throughout the entire cosmic space? The old lady's face was filled with confusion. The old lady frowned. The hidden Emperor Star is completely undamaged. In a blink of an eye, the old lady had calculated the situation of the hidden Emperor Star. However, the hidden Emperor Star has caused the energy of the entire immortal, devil and demon realm to fluctuate. Why exactly is that? Strange. The old lady pondered for a long time. In the end, she sighed and shook her head. Sigh, that girl Yen. Should also be in the hidden Emperor Star. The various forces and hidden experts all had different reactions. Some hidden experts were too lazy to move and continued to cultivate in peace. However, some hidden experts believed that such an unprecedented movement of cosmic energies that covered the entire immortal, devil and demon realm meant that something big must have happened. Thus, these hidden experts came out of seclusion. As for Emperor Yu, Mystic Emperor, and the other leaders of the various major powers, they had already reacted. In an instant, the hidden Emperor Star became the focus of the entire immortal, devil and demon realm. Times outside the hidden Emperor Star, countless frightening energies began to whistle, surge and even collide with each other. However, the strange thing was, these energies didn't attack the hidden Emperor Star in the slightest. As time passed, more and more energies gathered outside the hidden Emperor Star. Terrifying. The people in the hidden Emperor Star felt their hearts tremble. The cosmic energies that gathered outside the hidden Emperor Star, even if 1% of them were to descend, it would be enough to destroy the entire hidden Emperor Star. Even if the hidden Emperor and the black and white immortal emperors were to join hands, it would still be useless. Brotherly, quickly leave this hidden Emperor Star. Too dangerous. The hidden Emperor Star might be finished at any time. Okay, wait a moment, I'll come right away. You all still want to leave the hidden Emperor Star? Truly idiots. Such an extraordinary thing has never happened in the immortal, devil and demon realm since ancient times. Even if I were to die, as long as I could experience this, I would die without regrets. Cultivators, for the most part, do not fear death. After all, the majority of cultivators have cultivated for thousands or even tens of thousands of years. After living for a long time, they don't view life and death as important. The value of their existence is that they have their own pursuits. Hidden Emperor Star, inside the hidden leader. Big Brother, now that such an astonishing change has occurred in the entire cosmic space, and the source of this change is our hidden Emperor Star, Third Brother and I are truly puzzled, said a black-clothed black-haired middle-aged man. Another white-clothed white-haired man also nodded and said, Big Brother, you're the most knowledgeable, do you know the reason? Could it be because you're about to undergo the divine tribulation? The cyan-bearded middle-aged man who raised his head to look at the sky smiled and said, Second Brother, Third Brother, even if I were to undergo the divine tribulation, how could it possibly cause the entire immortal, devil and demon realm spatial energy to fluctuate? Moreover, there's still a period of time before I undergo the divine tribulation. Then what's the reason? The black-clothed black-haired man and the white-clothed white-haired man were both very puzzled. Second Brother, Third Brother, do you still remember the scene of the bewitching god temple descending to the immortal devil and demon realm last time? Said the cyan-bearded middle-aged man with a light smile. The black-clothed black-haired man nodded and said, The last time the bewitching god temple descended, at that time, we were still weak nobodies. However, that time when the bewitching god temple descended to the immortal devil and demon realm, it caused the cosmic space to fluctuate and shocked everyone. However, that time's cosmic energy fluctuation only covered 2 or 3 star fields. Big Brother, do you think that something similar to the bewitching god temple has appeared in the hidden Emperor Star? The white-haired white-clothed man had a happy expression on his face.
Well,
the cyan-bearded middle-aged man shook his head. The energy fluctuation of the entire immortal, devil and demon realm is definitely not that simple. At the very least, I'm still unable to see it. Look at those energies that have gathered in the outer region of the hidden Emperor Star. Big Brother, don't say any more. Those things came from the most dangerous places in the cosmic space. There's so many of them, if any one of 100 of them were to descend, our entire hidden Emperor Star would be turned into ashes, including the 3 of us. The gathering of so many frightening energies. Even the 3 strongest people in the hidden Emperor Star had to admit that they would not be able to resist even 1%, or even 1,000th of those energies. No wonder the countless experts on the hidden Emperor Star wanted to escape through the interstellar conveying arrays. Merely, there were only so many interstellar conveying arrays in the hidden Emperor Star. Yet, there were a lot of people who wanted to escape. The interstellar conveying arrays were point-to-point teleportation. They didn't care about the energy fluctuation outside the planet and were very safe. However, greater teleportation was different. Greater teleportation was a greater teleportation that fused with the heaven and earth. The outer region of the planet was surrounded by frightening energies. Even if one wanted to use greater teleportation, it would be impossible. The people who were able to escape were very few. At the same time, there were even more people entering the hidden Emperor Star from the outside world. The majority of these people were experts sent out by various powers. As for Emperor Yu and the other super experts at this time, they did not want to risk their lives. Thus, they could just casually send out some subordinates. However, Emperor Yu, Blood Devil Emperor and the other super experts still rushed to the Blue Flame Star and other planets that could directly connect to the hidden Emperor Star. Times the cosmic space frightening energies in the outer region of the hidden Emperor Star were still unceasingly gathering. The amount of cosmic space frightening energies was growing larger and larger. Because the amount of cosmic space frightening energies that had gathered was truly too much, it caused some changes to the hidden Emperor Star. For example, the elemental spirit energy of the hidden Emperor Star started to become irritable. The space was also not very stable. In short, it was as if the end of the world had arrived. "Madam, why did she call for me?" Ao Wuming walked out from the private room in confusion. Earlier he was still in seclusion training. It was just that Lian Zhu was unceasingly sending voice transmissions to him through her demon awareness. Right after he came out, Ao Wuming's expression changed. What happened to the hidden Emperor Star? As the master of the Wuming Dragon Mansion, he was able to easily sense the changes in the space outside the Wuming Dragon Mansion. At this time, the space of the hidden Emperor Star was slightly fluctuating. Furthermore, it was unceasingly fluctuating. "Big brother Wuming, why did you only come out now?" said Jiang Yan with her eyes wide open. "Wuming, news came from the Dragon Clan. Half a day ago, the energy of the entire cosmic space started to fluctuate. Furthermore, it was unceasingly gathering toward the hidden Emperor Star." Lian Zhu's expression was somewhat serious. Ao Wuming's expression changed. He immediately took out his transmission spiritual pearl. The entire space of the immortal, devil and demon realm. Ao Wuming found it hard to believe. With his experience, he naturally knew that the energy of the entire cosmic space was flowing. That was an extremely shocking matter. That's right. Right now, countless frightening energies have gathered in the immortal, devil and demon realm. There's cosmic fragmentary golden stream, extremely silent heavenly flame stream, smoky underworld stream. In short, all kinds of frightening energies are gathering in the surroundings of the hidden Emperor Star. Lian Zhu's expression was very serious. How is that possible? Ao Wuming was shocked. Cosmic fragmentary golden stream. What was that? Even with Ao Wuming's strength, he would likely be torn to shreds the moment he entered it, including his soul. Extremely silent heavenly flame stream. The heavenly flames were divided into ordinary purple heavenly flames. The next level was blue heavenly flames. The level after that was extremely silent heavenly flames. Under the burning of the extremely silent heavenly flames, those without divine artifacts should prepare to die. Furthermore, there was a large amount of frightening energies of the same level gathering. With this much energy, as long as they were to descend, no matter who it was, even if it was the hidden emperor, they would still be turned into ashes. "Quickly go call Luyu and Qin Yu," Ao Wuming immediately ordered. At this moment, Ao Wuming's head was filled with sweat. He was not worried about himself. Instead, he was worried about his wife, his brothers and friends. Times within the Qingyu Immortal Mansion. Qin Yu closed his eyes and stood motionlessly on the plaza. Within his Dantian space. Passing through the black hole passageway, Qin Yu's consciousness continuously went deeper. Finally, he arrived at the other end of the black hole passageway. However, Qin Yu saw an unbelievable scene at the other end of the passageway. What kind of space is that? Qin Yu looked at the space connected to the other end of the black hole passageway. It was an enormous and boundless space. However, this space was filled with a special kind of substance. This substance seemed to have substance. However, it was slowly flowing. Looking at it, it seemed like flower paste. Boundless flower paste. As for the energy of the golden immortal yuanying that he had refined, it was in the area connected to the black hole passageway. That area was extremely small. Within the boundless flower paste space, the area occupied by the energy that Qin Yu had refined was only 2 to 3 meters wide. Qin Yu's consciousness passed through the black hole passageway and arrived at the 2 to 3 meter wide space occupied by his energy. Isolation. Qin Yu was able to clearly sense that the 2 to 3 meter wide space that his energy occupied was separated from the boundless flower paste space outside. There was a sort of rule-like existence that caused Qin Yu to be unable to enter the flower paste space from his 2 to 3 meter wide space. With a thought, Qin Yu's consciousness passed through the black hole passageway and returned to his body. Within the Qingyu immortal mansion, Qin Yu opened his eyes. That's strange. Where is that flower paste space? Qin Yu stroked his chin and pondered. After reaching the black hole realm, why is the black hole passageway connected to that place? Qin Yu now knew where the majority of the yuanying energy that he had refined was located. It was in that 2 to 3 meter area. His territory in the flower paste space was only that big. Forget it. I'm not going to think about it anymore. Unable to figure it out, Qin Yu could only give up. Qin Yu took a deep breath. He could clearly sense the change in himself. After reaching the early stage of the black hole realm, the energy within his body was actually in another space. He could only rely on the energy of the golden light rings to attack. As for others, they would not be able to detect it at all. Furthermore, his own consciousness had also undergone some special changes. Qin Yu did not understand much about the existence of consciousness. He believed that soul was the most important. As for consciousness, it was as if it was an instinct. Regardless of that, finding Fei, Xiaohei and Li Er is the most important thing. Qin Yu flipped his hand and took out the little green pagoda. With my current strength, I should be able to open the first layer of the Jianglan's realm. However, right at this moment, Qin Yu sensed that a message had arrived from his transmission spiritual pearl. Qin Yu, this is a matter of life and death, quickly come out. This was Ao Wuming's message. Qin Yu realized the seriousness of the matter. He no longer had the time to open the Jianglan's realm. After all, he would have plenty of time to open it in the future. Qin Yu hurriedly left the Qingyu immortal mansion. He then opened the door of the private room and walked out. Inside the Wuming dragon mansion. Once Qin Yu came out, he discovered that Ao Wuming, Jun Luoyu, Zhang Yan, Lian Zhu and them were all slightly worried. Qin Yu will talk about this later. Let's go out and see what the situation is like. Ao Wuming did not have time to say much and directly brought Qin Yu, Jun Luoyu and them out of the Wuming dragon mansion. Qin Yu, Ao Wuming, Jun Luoyu, Zhang Yan and Lian Zhu appeared in Meng Hong's courtyard. Look at the sky. Lian Zhu spoke. Everyone raised their heads and looked at the sky. Currently, there were too many places where frightening energies were gathered. As long as one raised their heads, they would be able to see them. The entire sky was covered in a layer of darkness. All kinds of colored frightening energies were flowing unceasingly. However, not long after Qin Yu and them raised their heads, all of the frightening energies started flowing rapidly. After a short moment, the flowing energies actually formed a row of large words that covered the entire sky. Little friend, we'll be waiting for you. At the same time, that row of words emitted a dazzling brilliance that illuminated the entire hidden Emperor star. At the same time when Qin Yu and them saw this row of words, the countless experts of the hidden Emperor star also saw this row of words. Everyone was dumbstruck. Chapter 354. The golden light was dazzling. However, countless people on the hidden Emperor star still opened their eyes wide and raised their heads to look at the words that filled the sky. Little friend, we'll be waiting for you. Silence. Strangely silent. Cosmic fragmentary golden stream, extremely silent heavenly flame stream, smoky underworld stream. All kinds of frightening energies gathered around the hidden Emperor star. They covered the entire hidden Emperor star. Who would have thought that in the end, they would actually form a line of words? The entire hidden Emperor star grew silent. Everyone was dumbstruck. However, after a short while, the entire hidden Emperor star started to clamor. It was as if an explosion had occurred. Everyone in the hidden Emperor star started to clamor. Everyone was discussing and venting their astonishment. What exactly was going on? How could the frightening cosmic energies of the immortal, devil and demon realm all gather here just to form a line of words? Times on the blue flame star. Emperor Yu was holding a transmission spiritual pearl in his hand. He had just received the message from his subordinates in the hidden Emperor star. Emperor Yu's heart was filled with shock and confusion, especially that line of words. Not only did it give him endless shock, it also gave him an even deeper feeling. Controlling the energy of the entire universe. What kind of remarkable ability is that? Emperor Yu's heart trembled. Emperor Yu understood in his heart that the difference between him and the existence that was able to control the energy of the entire immortal, devil and demon realm was like the difference between an ant and a giant, the difference between the earth and the sky. Could it be that those people are from the divine realm? Emperor Yu guessed in his heart. Little friend, we'll be waiting for you. What exactly does this sentence mean? What exactly is the person that caused such a huge commotion trying to do? Actually, Emperor Yu had a guess in his heart. However, he didn't dare to believe it. In the history of the immortal devil and demon realm, there had been people that had ascended to the divine realm. However, there had never been such a huge commotion. Thus, he simply didn't believe that ascending to the divine realm would cause the super experts of the divine realm to cause such a huge commotion. Could it be that a certain great person from the divine realm had reincarnated and cultivated? Now that he had succeeded in his cultivation, the super experts of the divine realm caused such a huge commotion to celebrate. Emperor Yu's guess was a bit comical. However, Emperor Yu was unable to think of any other reason. Little friend, who exactly is this little friend? Emperor Yu walked to the window and looked to the sky. It seems that I will have to make a trip to the hidden Emperor star. Not only Emperor Yu, the Mystic Emperor, the Cyan Emperor, the Blood Devil Emperor, the Black Devil Emperor, the Azura Devil Emperor, the Ox Demon Emperor of the Beast Clan, the Dragon Emperor of the Dragon Clan. All the big shots of the immortal devil and demon realm had heard of this news. Every single one of them began to ponder who exactly this little friend was. Times, who is this little friend? Not only were these big shots guessing, countless people on the hidden Emperor star were also guessing. Similarly, Qin Yu, Ao Wuming, Jun Luoyu and the others were also guessing. In the main hall of Meng Hong's manor, several people were drinking and chatting. Strange, too strange. I, Meng He, have lived for so many years, but I have never heard of such a strange thing. The energy of the entire universe was gathered here just to form a line of words. He even said, "Little friend, we'll be waiting for you," Meng Hong said after taking a big gulp of wine. Not only is it strange, but it also makes one's heart tremble. Ao Wuming sighed. When I saw that line of words, especially when it was formed by countless terrifying energies, the pressure it gave to my soul was too great. That's right. At that time I had a feeling of suffocation. Jun Luoyu agreed. The others also nodded in succession. Cosmic fragmentary golden stream, extremely silent heavenly flame stream. These energies gathered in the sky and formed a layer of black. Who wouldn't be afraid after seeing that? When all these energies gathered to form a line of words, there was no need to say much about that kind of pressure. Qin Yu, what do you think? Ao Wuming suddenly looked to Qin Yu. Me. Qin Yu nodded. It is indeed quite shocking. It was merely shocking. Qin Yu did not feel much pressure from the bottom of his heart. Actually, the current Qin Yu was shocked by one thing. Ever since he reached the black hole realm, the feeling he had when he looked at Ao Wuming, Jun Luoyu and the others was completely different. In the past, when he looked at super experts like Ao Wuming, he would naturally have a feeling of reverence from the bottom of his heart. However, when he looked at the level 7 demon emperor Ao Wuming now, Qin Yu was very calm. It was as if he was looking at everyone from a third party's point of view. He did not feel any pressure. It was as if he was the sky, looking down on everyone. Qin Yu turned his head around. His gaze passed through the gate and looked to the sky. Even with those frightening cosmic energies, Qin Yu did not feel the slightest bit of fear from the bottom of his heart. The bottom of his heart was very calm. Qin Yu, you seem to be somewhat different from the past. Jiang Yan stared at Qin Yu and said, "Oh, different? What's different?" Qin Yu smiled and said. Lian Zhu, who stood to the side, also nodded and said solemnly, "There's indeed a change. How should I say it? It should be said that you've matured a bit." Matured? Qin Yu was stunned. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Ao Wuming, Jun Luoyu, Meng Hong and the others also started to laugh. Ao Wuming chuckled and said, "Qin Yu has indeed changed a bit. I reckon that it's a bit of a breakthrough in his martial power. Qin Yu, am I right?" Qin Yu nodded and said, "There's indeed a bit of a breakthrough in my martial power. I reckon that's the reason. Let's not talk about this anymore. Tell me, what kind of existence is able to control the energy of the entire cosmic space to form these words?" Jun Luoyu looked at the black layer of frightening energy in the sky outside the hall. His heart felt heavy. Facing such an existence, Jun Luoyu and the others had no choice but to look up. Jiang Yan giggled and said, "Who cares who it is? It's definitely an extremely powerful person. According to what Grandma said, even 9th-level immortal emperor experts can't affect the flow of cosmic energy. To be able to cause such a huge commotion, I reckon that it's someone from the divine realm. Furthermore, it's a relatively powerful person from the divine realm." Yen be serious. Ao Wuming's expression was very serious. The divine abilities of the people from the divine realm are not something you can imagine. In the future, you must not make any rash comments about the divine realm. "Oh, I know," Jiang Yan said with a pout. Ao Wuming walked out from his seat. He walked to the outside of the hall and looked at the sky in the courtyard. The black layer of frightening energy in the sky was still forming those words. "Little friend, we'll be waiting for you." Little friend, who exactly is this little friend? Ao Wuming muttered in a low voice. Jun Luoyu and Meng Hong also walked out. Looking at those words, they also had puzzlement on their faces. Clearly, they were also guessing who this little friend was. Little friend, who exactly is it? Looking at those words in the sky, Qin Yu was also guessing in his heart. Who exactly was this little friend? No one knew. Perhaps only the existence outside of the immortal, devil and demon realm that had created such a huge commotion would know who this little friend was. However, the majority of them were certain of one thing. This little friend was definitely in the hidden Emperor Star. Otherwise, why would so much energy gather outside of the hidden Emperor Star? Qin Yu, Ao Wuming, Jun Luoyu, Jiang Yan, Lian Zhu and Meng Hong were all guessing as they raised their heads to look. At this moment, countless people in the hidden Emperor Star were guessing who this so-called little friend was. Suddenly, boom! As if the heaven and earth were falling apart, the layer of frightening energy in the sky exploded. A rumbling sound resounded through the entire heaven and earth. "Little friend, quickly cultivate. We're waiting for you." A clear and bright voice resounded through the heaven and earth. For some unknown reason, that voice resounded through every inch of space in the hidden Emperor Star. It resounded in everyone's ears, in everyone's mind and in the depths of everyone's heart. Regardless of whether it was an infant, a mortal, a cultivator or an expert of the hidden Emperor level. They were all unable to resist this voice that resounded in their ears, minds and hearts. Everyone was once again dumbstruck. Boom! Two frightening energies of completely different attributes collided with each other and then exploded. It was as gorgeous and splendid as fireworks. However, when the shock wave from the explosion approached the hidden Emperor Star, it turned into nothingness. Extremely silent heavenly flame stream and extremely frozen cold stream collided with each other. Smoky dark stream and cosmic fragmentary golden stream collided with each other. Sand flame stream and dark meteor stream collided with each other. All kinds of energies of different attributes collided and exploded. One after another, gorgeous fireworks formed in the sky above the hidden Emperor star. The spatial shock wave from the explosion was simply unable to approach the hidden Emperor star. The hidden Emperor star was not damaged at all. Everyone, including the hidden Emperor and the black and white dual emperors, were astonished. Who had ever seen such gorgeous fireworks before? These frightening energies exploded for close to an hour. Finally, they disappeared like smoke in thin air. The strange cosmic energies formed after the explosion once again turned into a flood and flowed in all directions of the universe. The surroundings of the hidden Emperor star finally returned to its former tranquility. What is this? Fireworks? Qin Yu was truly astonished. When he was in the hidden dragon continent, there were already mortals who were able to create fireworks using gunpowder. However, today, the fireworks, formed by the collision of the frightening cosmic energies, were even more gorgeous. Times all of the cosmic energies left the hidden Emperor star. The hidden Emperor star was as tranquil as before. However, everyone knew one thing in their hearts. Other than the hidden Emperor, there was an even more mysterious little friend in the hidden Emperor star. Inside the hidden leader of the hidden Emperor star, in a small bamboo forest, there was a house made of bamboo. There were also a few randomly placed stone benches and 2 or 3 stone tables in the middle of the bamboo forest. A white-gowned white-haired man and a black-gowned black-haired man were sitting around one of the stone tables. As for the other, a cyan-bearded middle-aged man, he was holding a teacup and looking at the endless sky. Suddenly, a white-haired old man walked over. When he saw the cyan-bearded middle-aged man, he bowed and said, "Master, I already know. Let Emperor Yu come." The cyan-bearded middle-aged man said indifferently, "Yes, master." That white-haired old man didn't say much. His master, knowing that Emperor Yu had arrived, was not something to be surprised about. Recently, there might be a lot of people coming. Mystic Emperor, Black Devil Emperor and the others, you don't have to stop them. Let them come directly. The cyan-bearded middle-aged man instructed. The white-haired old man accepted the order and turned around to leave. Right after the white-haired old man disappeared from the bamboo forest, a purple-gowned man appeared in the bamboo forest. It was Emperor Yu. "Brother Lin, you've truly surprised me. The hidden Emperor star that you control was actually able to cause such a large disturbance." Emperor Yu slowly walked in with a light smile on his face. Emperor Yu's pace was neither fast nor slow. However, there was a strange rhythm to it. The entire bamboo forest seemed to be moving up and down with this rhythm. "Brother Fengyu, I see that you're about to reach level 9 Immortal Emperor," the cyan-bearded middle-aged man said with a smile. In the entire immortal devil and demon realm, there were only a few that dared to call Emperor Yu Brother Fengyu. However, the hidden Emperor of the hidden Emperor star was one of them. Brother Fengyu. The black and white immortal emperors stood up at the same time and greeted him with a smile. Emperor Yu nodded and said, "Brother Lin, I presume that you've personally experienced the large disturbance that occurred in the hidden Emperor star. Such a large disturbance is truly extraordinary." "It is indeed extraordinary. Even now I'm still ignorant about it." Hidden Emperor laughed at himself. The black and white immortal emperors did not interrupt. The two of them sat down and quietly drank tea. Emperor Yu sighed and said, "Cosmic fragmentary golden stream, crow meteor stream, extremely silent heavenly flame stream. Countless frightening energies from the entire universe gathered in the hidden Emperor star. Such a large disturbance is something that has never happened before in the history of the immortal devil and demon realm." "That's right." Hidden Emperor also sighed. "Bewitching God Temple, what an extraordinary existence it is. However, the arrival of the bewitching god temple in the immortal devil and demon realm only caused the cosmic energies of 2 or 3 star fields to fluctuate. This time, the disturbance is truly too frightening. Emperor Yu's eyes were shining. Brother Lin, who exactly is this little friend? Emperor Yu suddenly asked. Hidden Emperor shook his head. I do not know. Brother Lin possesses the Hidden Emperor star. How could Brother Lin not know of any extraordinary person that appeared in the Hidden Emperor star? Said Emperor Yu with a smile. Hidden Emperor lightly smiled. He walked to the side of the stone table and poured more tea into his teacup. Only then did he say indifferently, Little friend, this little friend is not that easy to find. However, he should be someone from the Hidden Emperor star. And right at this moment, Hidden Emperor, Emperor Yu and the black and white immortal emperors all looked toward the small path in the bamboo forest. He wore a cyan gown and held a flute in his hand. On his face was a smile that made people feel as if they were bathing in the spring breeze. Today a lot of people have come to my little place. Emperor Yu had just arrived and the Cyan Emperor had also arrived, said Hidden Emperor with a smile. Seeing the Cyan Emperor, Emperor Yu immediately smiled and said, Brother Qi Qing. The Cyan Emperor Qi Qing's status in the immortal realm was very special. Although he was the leader of one of the 3 great powers, the Cyan Emperor Qi Qing was different from the other 2 leaders. That was because the Cyan Emperor Qi Qing had cultivated for a very long time. So long that it made people's hearts tremble. Even the level 9 immortal emperor, Hidden Emperor, had cultivated for a much longer time than the Cyan Emperor. The Cyan Emperor Qi Qing also had the nickname, Eternal Green. This was because he had cultivated for a very long time. The strangest thing was, this Cyan Emperor had reached the level of level 8 immortal emperor countless tens of thousands of years ago. After all these years, the experts of the same generation as him had either successfully passed the divine tribulation and ascended or had already failed and died. However, only this Cyan Emperor was still a level 8 immortal emperor. Merely by the amount of time he had cultivated for, no one dared to look down upon this Cyan Emperor. Brother Fengyu, it's not only me, there are even more people that have come. Cyan Emperor walked to the side of Hidden Emperor. As he spoke, he turned around and looked toward the small path in the bamboo forest. At this moment, 2 people walked over side by side. Chapter 355. 2 people were walking over from the bamboo forest path. One of them was tall and had a handsome face. His skin was sparkling and translucent like jade. However, it was very difficult to tell if he was a man or a woman just by looking at his appearance. The other person was a rotund fatty. Azura Devil Emperor and Black Devil Emperor have also come. Emperor Yu greeted them with a smile. Cyan Emperor, Black and White Immortal Emperors and Hidden Emperor also greeted them. Gong Pang, I say, can you change your appearance a bit? Said Hidden Emperor to the round fatty with a smile. As the Black Devil Emperor to always look like a meatball, it's truly. Gong Pang was very fat. However, his face was ice cold. In the Black Devil path, the most important thing is the body. The best appearance for fighting is a meatball. Brother Lin, don't say any more. No one can change the decision that Gong Pang has made, said the handsome Azura Devil Emperor who came with Gong Pang. His face was so handsome that it was difficult to tell if he was a man or a woman. Azura Devil Emperor's name was Bai Rushue. As for his gender, he was a man. In a short period of time, so many great figures had gathered in the small bamboo forest house. All of these great figures were high and mighty. Many ordinary cultivators even considered meeting them as their lifelong goal. Cyan Emperor, Emperor Yu, Azura Devil Emperor and Black Devil Emperor all sat down in succession. I also know why everyone has come here this time. Hidden Emperor took a glance at the surrounding people. The entire immortal devil and demon realm has actually caused such a huge commotion just to form a line of words. Emperor Yu said with a smile. It's not just a line of words. At the end, Those frightening energies collided with each other. It was indeed gorgeous and beautiful. At the same time, the words spoken by that existence that surpassed the immortal, devil and demon realm should have been heard by everyone. Everyone's expression changed. Heard. How could they not hear? That voice simply ignored everyone's willpower and directly sounded in their ears, minds and souls. Even experts like Hidden Emperor were unable to resist it. Disparity, this was the disparity. Little friend, hurry up and train. We're waiting for you. The strength of the person who said the words little friend, hurry up and train. We're all waiting for you. There's no need to think too much about his strength. However, as for who this little friend is, I wonder if Brother Lin has an answer. Black Devil Emperor looked to Hidden Emperor. Hidden Emperor shook his head. Brother Lin indeed doesn't know. I've already asked. At this moment, Emperor Yu helped Hidden Emperor. At the same time, Emperor Yu stood up. Everyone, I'm sorry. I'll be leaving first. However, Hidden Emperor, Azura Demon Emperor, Cyan Emperor and the others all had a slight smile on their faces. Even the Black Demon Emperor's facial muscles twitched a couple of times. Brother Fengyu, you should leave first. We understand your difficulties, said the Hermit Emperor with a smile. Rarely seen, Emperor Yu's old face slightly reddened. However, with a few steps, he disappeared from the bamboo forest. Right after Emperor Yu disappeared, a beautiful silhouette appeared in the bamboo forest. That pink muslin dress was fluttering in the wind. A woman whose beauty could move one's soul appeared before the Hidden Emperor and them. If Brother Fengyu doesn't appear, Sister Xian, she won't appear either. Emperor Qing chuckled. The person who came was the mystic Emperor Xian Shi. The mystic the arch smiled faintly and didn't say anything else. Times Hidden Emperor Stars East Star City. Inside a courtyard pavilion. At this moment, Emperor Yu was sitting within. Xian Shi's temper is too strange. Wasn't she fine a few days ago? Why is she angry again? Emperor Yu sighed in his heart. He couldn't help but have a bitter smile on his face. At this moment, a bald-headed man walked in. Your Majesty, said the bald-headed man respectfully. This bald man was one of the experts of the 18 emperors under Emperor Yu, the level 6 immortal Emperor Yuan Lan. Emperor Yu's face returned to its usual indifference. Yuan Lan, what's the result of sending people to follow that group of people? Immortal Emperor Yuan Lan said respectfully. Your Majesty, 50 years ago, the Dragon Clan's Prince Ao Wuming, Jun Luoyu and the person Your Majesty sent to Demon Emperor Meng Hong's courtyard. Have you found out the identity of that person? Emperor Yu asked again. Yuan Lan nodded and said, Yes, Your Majesty. From the maids in Meng Hong's courtyard, Meng Hong and them addressed the person Your Majesty sent to Demon Emperor as Qin Yu. Qin Yu. Emperor Yu's face displayed a trace of astonishment. To be able to escape from the white-haired blood devil Shui Yiling's pursuit. How could it be Qin Yu? In Emperor Yu's heart, Qin Yu was only Lan Feng's martial nephew, a nobody that had ascended to the immortal emperor not long ago. In Emperor Yu's heart, the person that he truly valued was Lan Feng. Qin Yu. I'm afraid that this Lan Feng deliberately gave a false name. Emperor Yu said with a light smile. This subordinate does not know. However, Your Majesty sent people to search for that Lan Feng. That Lan Feng definitely knows about the danger. He might really be using the false name Qin Yu. Immortal Emperor Yuan Lan agreed. Continue. Emperor Yu said indifferently. Immortal Emperor Yuan Lan organized his thoughts and said. In these 50 years, according to our investigation, Ao Wuming and them should have been hiding in the Wuming Dragon Mansion. For a period of time, we all thought that Ao Wuming, Jun Luoyu and Qin Yu had left the Hidden Emperor Star. However, in these 50 years, we discovered that Jiang Yan and Ao Wuming's wife, Lian Zhu, came out to stroll. Thus, in these 50 years, Qin Yu and them should have been hiding in the Wuming Dragon Mansion. The existence of the Wuming Dragon Mansion was not a secret to Emperor Yu's intelligence agency. Not long ago, this subordinates people discovered that Qin Yu, Jun Luoyu, Ao Wuming and them appeared in Meng Hong's mansion. They even held a banquet in the mansion's main hall. Said immortal Emperor Yuan Lan respectfully. Emperor Yu lightly smiled. With so many frightening energies gathered in the sky above the hidden Emperor star, they actually dared to hold a banquet. They could be considered to have some guts. Yuan Lan. Emperor Yu's expression was slightly serious. Immortal Emperor Yuan Lan bowed. He knew that Emperor Yu was about to give an order. I order you to continue to closely monitor that Qin Yu. As long as he is still mingling with Ao Wuming, you all do not need to report to me. However, once he leaves Ao Wuming, you must immediately report to me. Said Emperor Yu strictly. Yes, Your Majesty. Immortal Emperor Yuan Lan bowed and accepted the order. Furthermore, if that Qin Yu has any special movements, you must also record them down. Every so often you must transmit those information to me. Emperor Yu added. Times, although Qin Yu was relying on Lu Xing's tear, his immortal awareness was extremely sensitive. Even if an immortal emperor-level expert were to spy on him, he would still be able to easily discover it. However, the surveillance methods of Emperor Yu's subordinates were innumerable. Even with how powerful Qin Yu was, he had never discovered that someone was monitoring him. Furthermore, Qin Yu had never been worried about danger. And now he was even less worried. Inside the Qingyu Immortal Mansion, Qin Yu was currently sitting on a chair. He had taken out the little green pagoda Zhonglan's realm. The matter of the frightening energies gathering in the hidden Emperor star had already passed. Qin Yu was now able to open the Zhonglan's realm with ease. When you're able to completely use the Zhonglan's realm, that is when you'll be able to see Lier. Qin Yu clearly remembered the words of Uncle Lan. Recalling these words, Qin Yu had a slight smile on his face. Uncle Lan had said that a level 5 or 6 golden immortal would be able to open the first layer of the Zhonglan's realm. I should be able to do it now. Qin Yu took a deep breath. Within his Dantian space, the golden ring located at a third of the black hole channel started to shine. The black hole energy was directly poured into the Zhonglan's realm from Qin Yu's body. The little green pagoda started to gradually tremble. Rays of golden light started to shine from the little green pagoda. Gradually, as Qin Yu poured more and more energy into the little green pagoda, the golden light finally completely covered the little green pagoda. The little green pagoda had actually turned into a little golden pagoda. Little Yu, congratulations on opening the first layer space of the Zhonglan's realm. There are still 2 more layers waiting for you. When you completely open the Zhonglan's realm, that is when you'll be qualified to see Lier. Uncle Lan's voice resounded in Qin Yu's mind when Qin Yu opened the first layer space. I've opened it, I've finally opened the first layer. The golden light on the Zhonglan's realm dissipated. It once again turned back into the little green pagoda. Looking at the little green pagoda in his hand, Qin Yu had a joyous expression on his face. After all these years, I've finally opened the first layer space of the Zhonglan's realm. Being able to open the first layer means that I will one day be able to open the second layer and the third layer. Qin Yu's gaze was shining. He was filled with confidence. Lier, the day when we'll be reunited is not far away. Not far away. Qin Yu felt that his heart was trembling. No matter what, he had finally completed the first step. The Zhonglan's realm was an extremely miraculous divine artifact. Exactly what level was this divine artifact? Mid-level divine artifact? High-level divine artifact? Or top-quality divine artifact? Qin Yu did not know. Even though he was now the master of the Zhonglan's realm. With an intention, Qin Yu disappeared from the Qingyu Immortal Mansion. Inside the first layer space of the Zhonglan's realm. A strange feeling. The moment he entered the first layer space, Qin Yu felt that the space inside the first layer space was clearly different from the space outside. Some changes that Qin Yu was unable to understand had occurred in the nature of the space. The first layer space of the Zhonglan's realm. The time ratio between the first layer space and the outside world was 10:1. 10 years in this layer space was only a year in the outside world. As time passed, the density of the elemental spirit energy also changed. The density of the elemental spirit energy here was also 10 times that of the outside world. Miraculous! What a miraculous Zhonglan's realm! It's able to change the speed of time and the density of the elemental spirit energy. It's truly amazing. Qin Yu gasped in admiration. Qin Yu's current cultivation was too low. He did not know what it meant to be able to create a spatial divine artifact that could control the speed of time. Divine artifact, a divine artifact that contains space, a divine artifact that allows people to enter. Qin Yu's eyes shined. Although the spatial ring was powerful, it could only store things and not allow people to enter. Immortal mansions like the Qingyu Immortal Mansion could allow people to enter. However, their defense relied on barriers. Furthermore, these immortal mansions were limited in size. For example, the Qingyu Immortal Mansion was only so big. However, this spatial divine artifact was different. Not only was the space inside the spatial divine artifact boundless, the defense of the spatial divine artifact itself also greatly surpassed the defense of barriers like the Qingyu Immortal Mansion. Once one entered the Zhonglan's realm, even experts like Emperor Yu would not be able to break through it. After opening the first layer space of the Zhonglan's realm, as the master of the Zhonglan's realm, Qin Yu naturally knew how powerful the defense of the Zhonglan's realm was. With an intention, Qin Yu exited the Zhonglan's realm. Although I've only opened the first layer space, it has allowed me to save 10 times the time needed to train. Even when I'm in danger, I have a place to hide. Qin Yu looked at the little green pagoda in his hand and was very excited. Qin Yu hated the feeling of being afraid of the slightest thing. However, in order to see Li Er, he had to preserve his life. And now, with the Zhonglan's realm, Qin Yu also had the confidence. Although he did not know the level of this divine artifact Zhonglan's realm, with Qin Yu's insight, this extraordinary Zhonglan's realm ought to surpass his own divine artifact Skypiercer. Uncle Lon casually gave Zhong Ju, Fei and them weapons made of special materials that were comparable to divine artifacts. However, this Zhonglan's realm, when Uncle Lon gave it to me, he appeared to be very serious. Just by thinking about it, one can understand how precious the Zhonglan's realm is. I truly wish to bitterly train on the Zhonglan's realm for several hundred years. I'll go out and deal with Zhang Yan first. Otherwise, Zhang Yan will not let me off easily. Qin Yu directly left the Qingyu Immortal Mansion. Times inside the restaurant. Qin Yu was drinking wine by himself. Brother Liu, no wonder I'm not a good brother. It's just that Yan is truly too hard to deal with. Qin Yu thought in his heart as he looked at the street below the restaurant and Jun Luoyu, who was helplessly following behind Zhang Yan. Zhang Yan insisted that Qin Yu, Jun Luoyu and them go shopping with her. Qin Yu accompanied her for a while. As for now, it was Jun Luoyu's turn. Qin Yu did not have the spirit of loyalty to accompany Jun Luoyu to suffer. Earlier, when he was accompanying Zhang Yan, why did Jun Luoyu not care about him? I'll first mess around with Yan for a couple days and then enter the Zhonglan's realm to bitterly train. Qin Yu made a decision in his heart. Bitterly training in the Zhonglan's realm would definitely allow Qin Yu's cultivation speed to reach a new level. If he were to bitterly train in the first layer of the Zhonglan's realm for 1,000 years, then only 100 years would have passed in the outside world. Quietly drinking wine, enjoying the fragrance of the wine brewed by the immortals. Suddenly, "Miss, sit here." A clear and melodious voice sounded in the restaurant. Qin Yu raised his head to look. He saw a yellow-clothed maid leading a green-clothed young girl toward the restaurant's window. "Cece, you should also sit down." The green-clothed young girl's face had a sickly pale complexion. Seeing that green-clothed young girl, Qin Yu's pupils shrunk. He remembered. that this green-clothed young girl was the girl that his foolish disciple Lu Honshu liked. Qin Yu couldn't help but recall that scene in his mind. In my entire life, the only regret is her. Lu Honshu, who was bleeding from his 7 apertures, appeared to be talking in a dream. At the moment when he was on the verge of death, his gloomy eyes were filled with reluctance. Soon after, Lu Honshu, who was bleeding from his 7 apertures, slowly fell down. With a boom sound, he crashed onto the ground. Qin Yu's entire body trembled. His entire mood had completely changed. Qin Yu had a bitter expression on his face. He had never imagined that he would meet the green-clothed young girl that his disciple Lu Honshu liked here. Chapter 356. The sky gradually darkened, and the number of people in the restaurant increased. "Miss, look at that person." The yellow-robed maid Cece gently nudged her young miss and pointed at Qin Yu. "What's wrong, Cece?" Lin Lin looked over in confusion. "Isn't he the person we met on Amber Moon decades ago?" Lin Lin recognized Qin Yu at a glance. Cece frowned and whispered to Lin Lin, "Miss, you know this person is very cold." "He is a very cold person, what's wrong?" Lin Lin was puzzled. Cece continued. "He looked at you just now when he looked at you. That gaze, how should I put it? It was melancholy, sad, as if he saw his lover." Cece said slowly. "Lover?" Lin Lin's expression stiffened, and then she glared at Cece, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. "You crazy girl, don't talk nonsense." "I'm not talking nonsense," Cece retorted. "I said you're talking nonsense, but you won't admit it." Lin Lin smiled faintly. Cece's face was bitter. She did see Qin Yu's melancholy expression just now. "Ah, look at his expression now," Cece hurriedly said. Lin Lin looked up. At this time, Qin Yu was holding a wine cup in his left hand, but his eyes were looking at the gloomy sky outside the restaurant. His expression was sad. If Honshu was still alive. Qin Yu's face showed a bitter smile. No matter what, it was impossible. At this time, Qin Yu's mind was full of scenes of his relationship with Lu Honshu, from the beginning to the two becoming master and disciple, and the scene when Honshu told him about the girl he fell in love with, and the final scene when Honshu died bleeding from his 7 orifices. When he died, his eyes were full of reluctance. Qin Yu couldn't forget it. That look of reluctance, maybe it was because of her. Qin Yu looked at the green-robed girl. Lin Lin was looking at Qin Yu at this time. When she saw Qin Yu looking over, Lin Lin was slightly startled, but quickly reacted, smiling and nodding. Qin Yu was startled, but then he smiled and nodded. Then Qin Yu slowly ate and drank. Not long after. "Miss, would you be willing to be my Dao companion?" A deep voice rang out through the entire restaurant. When the people inside the restaurant heard the voice, they felt their bodies go numb. At the same time, the entire restaurant seemed to be filled with the scent of blood. Qin Yu turned to look. A pale-faced youth stood in the middle of the restaurant. This youth had blood-red hair that was tied up with a golden ribbon. There was also a saber hanging from his waist. At that moment, the red-haired youth was staring at Lin Lin. "Impudent!" Cece screamed, but her eyes were filled with anger. The red-haired youth ignored Cece's angry shouts and only stared at Lin Lin. "Miss I Guanu, a warrior of the Blood Devil Path, earnestly request that you be my Dao companion. I can guarantee that you will be my only Dao companion in this life, and I will never abandon you." Lin Lin frowned. "You're crazy," Cece scolded. Cece's scolding represented the thoughts of almost everyone in the restaurant. This red-haired youth inexplicably wanted Lin Lin to be his Dao companion. This was indeed a bit strange and abnormal. "You!" The red-haired youth stared at Cece. "Shut up." As he spoke, his left hand, which had always been on the saber hanging from his waist, flashed out like lightning. Cece was smashed to the side, unable to resist at all. Blood flowed out from her mouth. "I'll ask you again. Would you be my Dao companion?" The red-haired youth stared coldly at Lin Lin. Lin Lin didn't know whether to laugh or to cry. She was currently only a level 3 heavenly immortal. Even Cece, who was much stronger than her, was unable to resist. What could she do? Gua knew, right? Lin Lin still had a smile on her face. Gua nodded. Blood Devil Path Warrior, Gua. All right, Gua. Lin Lin took a deep breath. Becoming Dao companions requires both sides to be willing. I'm not willing right now. You can't force me, understand? Gua shook his head resolutely. Staring at Lin Lin, he said coldly, "My power is stronger than yours. My power is stronger than yours. You can't refuse." Lin Lin's expression stiffened. The weak must attach themselves to the strong. This is the iron law of our devil realm. Gua spoke with a resounding voice. Brat from the devil realm, this is the hidden emperor star, the hidden emperor's territory. Don't be too impudent. A middle-aged man stood up and shouted angrily. The red-haired youth shot a glance at that man. Level 5 golden immortal, you're no match for me. If you continue to spout nonsense, your end will be death. Being stared at by the red-haired youth, that middle-aged man felt as if he had been locked onto by the god of death. He did not doubt that if he were to say another word, the red-haired youth would unsheath his saber. With merely a single sentence, no one in the restaurant said anything. Qin Yu was watching. He was able to tell that the red-haired youth was an expert from the Blood Devil path who had walked through life and death situations. However, even if he was an expert, Qin Yu would not allow him to humiliate the green-clothed young girl. That was because the green-clothed young girl was his disciple's beloved woman. However, Qin Yu was able to determine that the red-haired youth did not pose any threat to the green-clothed young girl. If there wasn't any danger, Qin Yu would not act. Unless the green-clothed young girl encountered danger. From the way that Maid was flung to the side, this red-haired youth's attack was very measured. Qin Yu shot a glance at Cece, who had already stood up and walked to Lin Lin's side. Cece's injury was only superficial. "Young miss, this person is too excessive. Let's go back and call senior brother to teach him a lesson." Cece whispered in Lin Lin's ear. "This is your last chance. Are you willing to become my Dao companion?" The red-haired youth's eyes were cold. No matter how good Lin Lin's temper was, she was still angry. "Gua, you are from the devil realm, but I am from the immortal realm. You from the devil realm can force others to become your Dao companion, but I am from the immortal realm. I will not accept this." Lin Lin pointed at the restaurant's stairs. "Get out. I do not wish to see someone like you." Suddenly, a smile appeared on the red-haired youth's face. He muttered to himself, "Strange, strange. The people from the immortal realm are indeed the same as what Master said. They are so blunt and so long-winded. Master said that one must be polite in the hidden emperor star. It would seem that being polite is useless. It's better to use the methods of the devil realm." After the red-haired youth finished speaking, his right hand directly grabbed at Lin Lin. Lin Lin's expression changed. Qin Yu, who was quietly watching from the side the entire time, had a flash of coldness in his eyes. Bang! A sharp and clear sound of fist colliding. The red-haired youth took 2 steps back in succession. He stared at the black-gowned man who suddenly appeared. Boom! The gloomy sky finally gave rise to a gale following the sound of thunder. The gale caused the murals in the restaurant to sway unceasingly. As for Qin Yu's black gown, it also fluttered in the wind. Within the flickering lightning, the red-haired youth was able to clearly see the grave and stern face. Qin Yu coldly smiled at Gua. "Young lady, do you know a person called Lu Honshu?" Qin Yu suddenly spoke. "Honshu, do you know Honshu?" Lin Lin's face revealed a pleasantly surprised expression. "Mister, you know Honshu, right? Can you tell me where Honshu is right now? Beg of you." Lin Lin's face was filled with anxiety. "What's your relationship with Honshu?" Qin Yu asked softly. I don't have any relationship with him. Lin Lin was slightly embarrassed. Qin Yu had a bitter smile on his face. He was able to tell that this Lin Lin and his disciple Han Shu had some hazy feelings for each other. Merely, the two of them had yet to develop to the stage where they would reveal their feelings to each other. Foolish disciple. Qin Yu felt his entire heart clench. It was very painful. It was truly very painful. Their feelings for each other had yet to begin, but Han Shu would never be able to begin, even if this young lady liked him from the bottom of her heart. Mister, can you tell me where Han Shu is? Lin Lin held back the embarrassment in her heart and hurriedly asked. At this time, she didn't pay attention to the red-haired youth at all. In her heart, there was only the simple and easily embarrassed boy from Amber Moon Star. Han Shu, he's already dead. Qin Yu said ruthlessly. Lin Lin felt as if she was struck by lightning. Her whole person was stunned. Black-haired, get out of the way. I don't want to fight with you for no reason. The red-haired youth spoke at this time. The red-haired youth could feel the pressure from the person in front of him. Mister, you're lying to me, right? Lin Lin squeezed out a smile on her face. She looked at Qin Yu with a face full of longing. Han Shu was such a good person. His cultivation wasn't even at the immortal level. Who would kill him? He didn't even bully those with low cultivation. He was so kind in his heart. Who would have the heart to kill him? Mister, you must be lying to me. At this moment, Lin Lin still found it hard to accept the result given by Qin Yu. I'm not lying to you. I'm Han Shu's master. Han Shu died for me. Qin Yu said coldly. But if one listened carefully, one could hear the slight tremor in Qin Yu's voice. Lin Lin's face was very pale. But after a moment, she only smiled bitterly. Qin Yu turned to look at the red-haired youth. This girl is the girl my disciple likes. I will not allow anyone to bully him. Han Shu likes me. When Lin Lin heard Qin Yu's words, her face turned a little red. The red-haired youth's right hand slowly pulled out a war blade from the scabbard. It was a sharp war blade. But when he pulled it out, a strong smell of blood permeated from the war blade. It was impossible to imagine how many people he had to kill to make the war blade have such a terrifying smell of blood. I don't care about anything else. Like her. The red-haired youth stared at Lin Lin. So she belongs to me, Guan Yu. Those who stop me die. Qin Yu stared at Lin Lin. His eyes were cold. Qin Yu's long hair fluttered. At this moment, Qin Yu and the red-haired youth attacked at almost the same time. Qin Yu's speed was very fast, especially after reaching the black hole realm. His body did not leak any aura. The power of the black hole was even purer than the power of the dark star. The red-haired youth, Guan Yu, level 8 Devil King. Qin Yu, early black hole realm. The energy within his body was close to that of a level 6 golden immortal. A series of continuous sounds could be heard. When two experts fought each other, they actually did not leak out any energy. Generally, when two experts of this level fought, the surrounding buildings would be completely destroyed. However, when Qin Yu and Guan Yu fought, the tables and chairs in the restaurant were not damaged in the slightest. The two separated. Oh, fast. Guan Yu stared at Qin Yu. Your reaction is also very fast. Qin Yu held a short sword in his hand. This was a top-grade immortal sword. Against the person in front of him, there was no need to use Heaven Splitter. Qin Yu glanced at Guan Yu and said indifferently, I can tell you clearly that you are not my match. If you continue to be so unreasonable, I will kill you without mercy. Qin Yu knew that many of his techniques were useless. Just now, he had only relied on his speed and that immortal sword. Big talk. Guan Yu sneered. Immediately, Guan Yu's eyes turned red. Bang! A ferocious energy raged out from Guan Yu's body. Instantly, the entire restaurant shattered into pieces. The guests in the restaurant had long since left. As for Lin Lin and Cece, they had gone to the street to watch from afar. The floor of the restaurant beneath Guan Yu's feet shattered. But Guan himself was still at his original position, standing in the air. Qin Yu was the same. Ignorant. Qin Yu sneered. Blazing profound ring. Gravitational domain. Guan, who was preparing to attack, suddenly felt an extremely terrifying gravitational force. It was as if an unclimbable mountain had smashed onto his body. His body immediately fell down. Bang! Qin Yu suddenly swung his right leg, turning it into an arc. Like steel, it mercilessly smashed onto Guan's head. Bang! Guan's entire head was strangely twisted. His entire body was sent flying. Scram! Qin Yu was in the air above East Star City. He coldly shouted at the distant Guan. He knew that this simple kick would not be able to kill Guan. He had already shown mercy. However, following a furious roar, Guan flew over from afar. He seemed to have gone crazy. Gravitational domain. Guan wiped the corner of his mouth. His eyes were suffused with a bloody light. His face revealed a cruel expression. Overestimating yourself. Qin Yu's heart was truly filled with killing intent. He originally thought that this Guan was too simple, the kind of person who had experienced killing since he was young. Therefore he showed mercy. However, looking at Guan's expression, Qin Yu knew that this Guan had completely turned into a demon. He took pleasure in killing. Guan's eyes were scarlet red. His blood-red long hair fluttered. Holding his battle blade, Guan drew a ray of light and arrived beside Qin Yu. This time Qin Yu did not show mercy. Blazing profound ring. Dual gravitational domain. After the Lord of Black Flames ring and the Lord of White Profounds ring fused, the blazing profound ring could unleash a dual gravitational domain. Just now, Qin Yu showed mercy and only used a single gravitational domain. Guan's muscles and bones let out a series of crackling noises when he was hit by the double force field. How is this possible? How can his gravitational domain be so strong? While Guan was in disbelief, an indifferent voice sounded. Die! Guan only felt a shiver from his soul. Soon after, his consciousness became blurry. At the last moment of his life, he only saw a pair of cold eyes. Chapter 357. Guan's body fell from the sky and smashed into the street. The entire street was silent. Only the howling of the wind could be heard. On the other side of the street, Lin and Cece stood together. Miss. Cece gently pulled Lin's sleeve. Don't be sad, Han Shu is dead. We will find a way to avenge him. Seeing Lin's current appearance, Cece's heart ached. Lin looked at Cece and shook her head silently. Miss, can you take out your communication spiritual pearl for a moment? Qin Yu's voice sounded beside Lin. Lin looked up at Qin Yu in front of her and took out her communication spirit pearl without hesitation. Qin Yu received the transmission spiritual pearl and left his immortal awareness imprint on it. You can also leave your imprint on my communication spirit pearl. Qin Yu handed over his communication spirit pearl. Lin nodded slightly and also left her imprint on Qin Yu's communication spirit pearl. At the moment when Qin Yu was about to receive his transmission spiritual pearl, Lin instead pulled her hand back. Mister, are you really Han Shu's master? Tell me, what is your name? Lin still had a trace of fantasy in her heart. Qin Yu. After Qin Yu finished saying that, he took out his transmission spiritual pearl from Lin's palm. Lin smiled bleakly. Sure enough, no wonder he didn't contact me for so many years. I went to Maple Moon and couldn't find any news about him. So he really died long ago. After the Battle of Maple Moon, the number of level 8 and level 9 golden immortals who died reached a shocking number. The 3 great clans of Maple Moon coincidentally erased all news of the battle. Even the deeds of Qin Yu and Lu Honshu were erased. Young lady, if you were to encounter any problems in the future, you merely need to send a transmission to me. As long as I am able to do it, I will definitely help you take care of it. said Qin Yu to Lin Lin. After he finished saying those words, he directly walked toward the other end of the street. From beginning to end, Qin Yu didn't ask for the name of the woman in green. There was no need to ask. Qin Yu only needed to know that this woman was his disciple's most beloved girl. Just now, Qin Yu gave Lin Lin such a promise because he felt guilty towards his disciple. Guan Yu's corpse fell on the street, and at this time, a cold middle-aged man with blood-red hair and a pale face appeared on the street. He was half kneeling beside Guan Yu, tightly hugging Guan Yu's corpse. "Slave, why don't you wait a little longer?" The muscles on the face of this middle-aged man, who was dressed almost exactly like Guan Yu, were trembling. "I've always been very worried and afraid that with your temperament, you would have an accident." The red-haired middle-aged man was holding a transmission spiritual pearl in his hand. There was a message in the communication spiritual pearl. "Master, I've found someone I like. The moment I saw her, I knew that I had fallen in love with her. She will definitely belong to me. Master, wait for me. I will bring her to see you." This was the message Guan Yu sent to his master when he saw Lin Lin after entering the restaurant. His master was a super expert of the Blood Devil path, Devil Emperor Shui. Devil Emperor Shui was on the blue flame star earlier. This time around, he came to the Indigo Bay star field from the Devil Realm because the cosmic energy had gathered in the hidden Emperor star. When he received the message from his disciple, Devil Emperor Shui had a bad premonition. Thus, he immediately used the interstellar conveying array of the blue flame star to arrive at the hidden Emperor star. However, there were a lot of people who needed to use the interstellar conveying array of the blue flame star. In this period of time, there were a lot of super experts on the blue flame star. Thus, Devil Emperor Shui did not dare to kill people in broad daylight. Thus, he could only follow the order and line up to use the interstellar conveying array. However, by the time he arrived, his disciple, Guan Yu, had already died. Guan Yu, Devil Emperor Shui's most beloved disciple. He had the same childhood as Devil Emperor Shui. When he was young, he was abandoned by his family and lived among the wild beasts. He was addicted to killing and respected the strong. The law of the jungle was deeply ingrained in his mind. Devil Emperor Shui was also abandoned when he was young. Although his father found him after he succeeded in his cultivation, Devil Emperor Shui continued to do as he pleased. When he saw Guan Yu for the first time, he fell deeply in love with this child and immediately took him as his youngest disciple. "No matter who killed you, even if it's Emperor Yu, Mystic Emperor and them, I will definitely kill them to avenge you," Devil Emperor Shui said fiercely in front of his disciple's corpse. Devil Emperor Shui and Guan Yu had the same temperament. If he said it, he would definitely do it unless he died. Devil Emperor Shui swept his gaze across the street and immediately locked onto Lin Lin and Cici, who were far away. At this moment, Cici was still comforting Lin Lin. "Who killed Guan Yu?" Lin Lin and Cici were greatly alarmed when they saw the red-haired middle-aged man who suddenly appeared in front of them. He had the same attire as Guan Yu, the same gaze, the same pale complexion, the same battle blade on his waist, and the same blood-red long hair. However, one had the appearance of a youth, and the other had the appearance of a middle-aged man. Not speaking. Die. Devil Emperor Shui's expression did not change in the slightest. "I killed him." An indifferent voice stopped Devil Emperor Shui's actions. Qin Yu walked over from the other end of the street. Earlier, when his immortal awareness detected the appearance of a frightening aura, he knew that the situation was bad. Especially when he saw that person half kneeling in front of Guan Yu's corpse. He was able to determine that. Originally, Qin Yu did not plan to appear. However, as this matter concerned Lin Lin's life and death, Qin Yu must appear. Devil Emperor Shui looked at Qin Yu coldly. "It was you who killed my disciple, Guan Yu?" Devil Emperor Shui's seemingly material aura was emitted and oppressed toward Qin Yu. "That's right." Qin Yu nodded. Facing this frightening aura, Qin Yu did not sense it in the slightest. Ever since Qin Yu reached the black hole realm, the aura that came from the other end of the black hole passageway merged with Qin Yu's consciousness. Qin Yu's entire being had changed. Oppressive aura. Perhaps Qin Yu's strength was far inferior to Devil Emperor Shui Yi's, but it was impossible for Qin Yu to be afraid and submit. The woman that my disciple took a fancy to is you, right? Devil Emperor Shui Yi looked at Lin Lin. Only a quick-witted girl like you is worthy of my disciple. That's right. Lin Lin faced Devil Emperor Shui Yi without any fear. Your disciple took a fancy to me, but I do not like him. Senior, could it be that when you do things, you are always so forceful? Forceful? Devil Emperor Shui Yi sneered. I am stronger than you. You cannot disobey me. Disobeying is death. Devil Emperor Shui Yi's eyes were filled with dense killing intent. You are the woman that my disciple took a fancy to. He is dead. Prepare to accompany him in death. You should feel honored to be buried with my disciple. As he spoke, Devil Emperor Shui Yi waved his hand. Clang. The sound of metal clashing rang out. Qin Yu stood in front of Lin Lin, holding a short sword in his hand. At this time, Qin Yu did not dare to hold back. The short sword in his hand was the divine sword Sky Piercer. Even the divine armor Black Frozen Snow was concealed on the surface of his skin, ready to block the attack. You guys quickly leave. I cannot hold him off for long. Qin Yu hurriedly transmitted. Qin Yu could see that this Devil Emperor Shui Yi, in front of him, was far stronger than Immortal Emperor Qian Qi on Amber Moonstar. Even when compared to the white-haired blood devil Shui Yiling, there was not much difference. Sir, this person's strength is too strong. You do not have to risk your life to save us. I have already sent a message to my seniors. My seniors and uncles will be here soon. Lin Lin also transmitted her voice. Don't talk nonsense. Quickly leave. Qin Yu was also very angry in his heart. This green-clothed girl did not take the opportunity to escape, but instead tried to persuade him. Pretty powerful. That dagger of yours should be a divine artifact, right? It actually managed to cut through my top-grade magic artifact-ranked arm guard and injure my arm. At this moment, Devil Emperor Shui Yi laughed. Devil Emperor Shui Yi sucked the blood from his wound with his lips. His face had a bloodthirsty expression. Quickly leave. Qin Yu fiercely pushed Lin Lin and Cece. However, Lin Lin and Cece were pushed a few meters away, but they still did not run. Not yet at the Immortal Emperor level, but you have a divine weapon. Looks like your sect is not ordinary. If it were other people, they might have some reservations. Unfortunately, I will not show mercy. Devil Emperor Shui Yi said as he pulled out a battle sword from his waist. At this time, Qin Yu's thoughts were on Lin Lin and Cece. If Honshu were to know that I am unable to even protect the woman that he loves, would I still have the face to continue living? Qin Yu did not care about his secret being exposed. He rushed toward Lin Lin and Cece. Don't try to resist. Within a radius of 10 li, everything belongs to my domain. In here, these two little girls who are not even golden immortals can't escape. Devil Emperor Shui Yi's voice transmitted into Qin Yu's mind. Qin Yu grabbed Lin Lin and Cece with a single move. Don't resist. Ignoring Lin Lin and Cece's puzzled eyes, Qin Yu directly put the two into the Qingyu Immortal Mansion. In order to put people into the Qingyu Immortal Mansion, the other party must not resist. Oh, it looks like your master dotes on you quite a bit. Just now, did you put them into your cave? Which one of the cave abodes that you can carry around with you hasn't been painstakingly refined? Devil Emperor Shui Yi held his blade with one hand, his gaze gradually turning cold. A portable cave abode, a short sword in your hand, a divine artifact. Your master dotes on you very much. Unfortunately, no matter who your master is, even if he is a deity, I will still kill you. A bloody light soared into the heavens. Oh, fast. Qin Yu only saw the afterimage with his immortal sense. He quickly and viciously stabbed out with Skysplitter. The sound of sword and saber clashing rang out. At the same time, A blood-red saber energy stabbed into Qin Yu's body. Fortunately, Sky Splitter had blocked the saber, and the blood-red saber energy had only pierced through Qin Yu's chest at a diagonal angle. A black light flashed past Qin Yu's body, and the blood-red saber energy dissipated. At the critical moment just now, Qin Yu had used the divine artifact battle armor, Black Frozen Snow. Pang! 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 Several thousand sabers in a row, one saber after another. Qin Yu finally understood what speed was. White Hair Blood Devil Shui Yiling's strength might be higher than Devil Emperor Shui Yi's, but his attack speed was not as fast as Devil Emperor Shui Yi's. Qin Yu relied on his sensitive immortal sense, and vaguely felt the position of each saber, and used Sky Splitter to continuously block them. Qin Yu felt as though he was walking on a tightrope. If he wasn't careful, he would be pierced by the saber. Qin Yu's eyes couldn't see the saber images. His eyes could only see Devil Emperor Shui Yi's red eyes, those beast-like eyes. Pucci. After blocking several thousand sabers, Qin Yu finally couldn't block anymore. You have a divine artifact battle armor. Devil Emperor Shui Yi's face was filled with disbelief. He never would have thought that the master of the person in front of him would dote on Qin Yu to the point that he would even give the extremely precious divine artifact battle armor to Qin Yu. At this moment, Devil Emperor Shui Yi's saber pierced into Qin Yu's abdomen. However, it only pierced a little, and was blocked by the divine artifact battle armor. But you still have to die. Devil Emperor Shui Yi's voice sounded in Qin Yu's mind. The divine artifact battle armor also depends on who is wearing it. Against you, I only need to use the vibrational force of hitting a cow through a mountain. Although only 10% of the power is left after passing through the divine artifact battle armor, it is enough to deal with you. The Devil's Sense voice transmission was only for a moment. A terrifying force exploded on the surface of the divine artifact battle armor. Soon after, less than 10% of the force appeared in Qin Yu's body, and directly attacked Qin Yu's dantian. Along the way, Qin Yu's internal organs were destroyed, but they were immediately repaired. Pucci. When the other party pierced into Qin Yu's abdomen, Qin Yu's divine sword Sky Piercer also pierced into Devil Emperor Shui Yi's abdomen. It is impolite not to reciprocate. Qin Yu's smile was very cold, but soon after he was stunned. You also have a divine artifact battle armor? Qin Yu was only able to pierce an inch in, and was unable to pierce any further. A blood-red battlesuit emerged from Devil Emperor Shui Yi's body. Divine artifact battle armor was extremely rare. Even the white-haired blood demon Shui Yiling did not have one. One could imagine how precious a divine artifact battle armor was, but this Devil Emperor Shui Yi actually had one. If I didn't have a divine artifact battle armor, how could my left hand not block your divine sword? Shui Yi's face had a trace of a cold smile. Waves of energy continuously entered Qin Yu's body. Shui Yi's strength was originally very strong. Even if he relied on vibrational force, with only 10% of the force left after passing through the divine artifact battle armor, the power was still very strong. However, when the waves of energy passed through Qin Yu's organs and reached his dantian, Qin Yu did not use the power of the black hole to block it at all, because the black hole in his dantian suddenly began to revolve. Whew! Those waves of energy that were prepared to attack Qin Yu were directly absorbed by Qin Yu's black hole, not even leaving behind dregs. Devil Emperor Shui Yi's face changed. Die! Shui Yi roared angrily, and a terrifying energy exploded from the Devil Emperor's body, exploding onto Qin Yu's body. Qin Yu's body was immediately sent flying. Although it took a long time to describe, in reality, Qin Yu and Devil Emperor Shui Yi's bodies only collided, each stabbing the other with a blade and a sword. Then, the energy within Devil Emperor Shui Yi's body exploded, and they immediately separated. Strange, your soul was actually not shattered. Your soul has reached the immortal emperor level. Devil Emperor Shui Yi looked at Qin Yu in disbelief. Qin Yu's face changed. Just now, Devil Emperor Shui Yi's final attack, The explosion of energy within his body, because he was too close, it affected his head, causing the soul in his mind to shake. If he did not have the protection of Lu Xing's tears, just this attack alone was enough to cause his soul to collapse. The difference between Qin Yu and Devil Emperor Shui Yi was really big. Qin Yu. A familiar voice sounded. Jun Luo Yu landed beside Qin Yu, then looked at Devil Emperor Shui Yi, and his face changed greatly. So it's you. When Devil Emperor Shui Yi saw Jun Luo Yu, his face darkened, and he stared at Jun Luo Yu. Chapter 358. Qin Yu, what's wrong? Jun Luo Yu suddenly saw that Qin Yu's complexion was very pale. I'm fine. Qin Yu shook his head, but his heart was very shocked. Seems like the black hole in my dantian is still not stable enough, especially when it comes to attacking energy. Wanting to swallow and refine it all at once is still somewhat difficult. The black hole channel in Qin Yu's dantian continuously trembled for a long time just now. That golden halo also trembled for a while. In the end, Qin Yu still managed to hold on. You're too confident. This guy in front of us is at least a level 6 Devil Emperor. Even through the divine armor, although his attack power is only left with 10%, it's still comparable to a level 2 Devil Emperor's full power attack. Qin Yu felt a lingering fear. The black hole in his dantian was able to absorb attack energy. However, if the attack energy was too strong, it could still cause the black hole to collapse. Jun Luo Yu, I didn't expect to see you here. Devil Emperor Shui Yi's complexion became even paler. His eyes were filled with coldness as he stared at Jun Luo Yu. The two of you will definitely die today. Shui Yi. Jun Luo Yu clenched his teeth. His eyes were about to burst. Boom. Following the sound of thunder, a bolt of lightning struck down from the dark clouds in the sky. However, the few people present did not care about the lightning at all. Following that, heavy rain poured down. The thunder rumbled and the rainstorm continued. Wei, it's you. You killed A Jiao. You killed her. Ever since the day A Jiao died, I swore to the heavens that my only goal in life was to kill you. I will kill you and make that Blood Devil Emperor regret. Jun Luo Yu's entire body was trembling. Jun, listen to me. Jiao is my woman. Devil Emperor Shui Yi coldly said. Since she's my woman, I will definitely not allow her to fall in love with someone else. I would rather kill my woman myself than give her to someone else. Devil Emperor Shui Yi coldly stared at Jun Luo Yu. Jun Luo Jiao asked me to let you go before she died. That time I will not let you go. You must die. After saying that, Devil Emperor Shui Yi looked at Qin Yu again. Jun Luo Yu just called you Qin Yu. The expression on Devil Emperor Shui Yi's face was very sinister. Your teacher treated you very well. Not only did he give you a divine weapon, he even gave you a divine armor. At the same time he gave you a cave. But Qin Yu, you're going to die today, even if you have a divine armor. Devil Emperor Shui Yi's body gradually emitted blood-red light. Whoosh! A human figure emerged from Devil Emperor Shui Yi's body. Doppelganger technique. Qin Yu stared blankly as Devil Emperor Shui Yi transformed into two people. Devil Emperor Shui Yi smiled at Qin Yu, and the two people transformed into four people. The four of them surrounded Qin Yu and Jun Luo Yu in four different directions. The four of them looked exactly the same. The only difference was the weapons on their bodies. Doppelganger technique. Qin Yu's expression slightly changed. He had heard of this secret technique before but had never trained in it. However, according to what he had heard, this secret technique ought to be a secret technique of little value. Jun Luo Yu's voice transmission sounded in Qin Yu's mind. Qin Yu, among these four people, only one of them is the true body. The true body's strength is the strongest. The strength of the doppelganger is hard to say. Under normal circumstances, the doppelganger would only have 10% of the true body's strength. However, Jun Luo Yu was clearly able to sense the strength of the doppelganger. Qin Yu's sensitive immortal awareness also sensed that among the 4 Shuiyis, the 3 doppelganger with slightly weaker strength also possessed the strength of a level 5 Devil Emperor. How could they only have 10% of the true body's strength? I have the Qin Yu Immortal Mansion. You can hide inside it. Qin Yu said via voice transmission. Qin Yu was very confident in himself. That was because not only did he have the Qin Yu Immortal Mansion, he also had the safest Jianglan's realm. The Jianglan's realm that Uncle Lan had created naturally possessed a much higher defense than the Qin Yu Immortal Mansion created by Immortal Emperor Ni Yang. No need. Jun Luoyu's expression did not change in the slightest. Shui, the person who snatched away my wife and killed my wife. Even in my dreams I want to kill him. In front of him I will definitely not run away. Qin Yu was slightly startled. This Jun Luoyu and Shui both said that a Zhao was their wife. Exactly whose wife was she? 1 true body, 3 doppelganger. 4 Shuiyis surrounded Qin Yu and Jun Luoyu. To Qin Yu and Jun Luoyu, Shui must kill them. His only beloved disciple, his only wife, had both died because of the 2 people in front of him. Jun Luoyu seducing my wife, I sentence you to death. Qin Yu killing my beloved disciple, I sentence you to death. These 2 sentences were spoken by the 2 doppelganger. Similarly, the 4 Devil Emperor Shuiyis all had a grim and bloody smile on their faces. Although I do not like my father, but this time I will use his ultimate move. Devil Emperor Shuiyi's voice was low. The 4 Shuiyis all roared at the same time. Boundless blood sea. Blood light rushed to the heavens. Chi chi. The buildings within a radius of 100 li turned into fine powder for no reason. The entire ground sank down by an entire layer. Base warp. And Qin Yu and Jun Luoyu were within the warped space. The blood-red light became the only color within a 100-meter radius. That surging blood devil Dao energy completely enveloped Qin Yu and Jun Luoyu. Boom! The blood-red area completely exploded. A terrifying energy constantly exploded within the warped space. Devil Emperor Shui relied on the doppelganger to form a large array, completely confining the explosion energy within the warped space. The explosion energy constantly refracted within the warped space. Boundless blood sea, not only is it a group attack, it is also the strongest single target attack. In a short moment, the 4 Shuiyis fused into one. Shuiyi's face was filled with confidence. Warping space to become shit is a group attack. Warping space to become small is a single target attack. Even if it was me, I would not be able to take it head-on. The warped space returned to normal. Not dead. Shui looked at the 3 people in disbelief. Yes, it was 3 people. 2 Qin Yu and 1 Jun Luoyu. The 2 Qin Yus, one in front and one behind, protected Jun Luoyu well. How is this possible? Aren't you just a hedonistic son of rich parents who relies on treasures? You haven't even reached the emperor level. How can you still be alive? Shui said in disbelief. His face became even paler. Shui looked down on Qin Yu. How could he look up to someone who was weak and only relied on treasures? But the scene before him. Even if you have a divine artifact armor under the boundless blood sea, that terrifying explosion is enough to kill you through your divine artifact armor. There were 2 people just now. How come there are 3 now? Shui felt that his world had been turned upside down. You have doppelganger, do you think I don't? One of the Qin Yus laughed coldly. Luoyu, you rest. I will deal with him. The other Qin Yu said to Jun Luoyu. The 2 Qin Yus transformed into 2 bolts of lightning and rushed towards Devil Emperor Shui. Lightning. Afterimage. Qin Yu's battle didn't rely on his powerful attack power. Instead, he relied on his speed and the sharpness of his weapon. Clown. Devil Emperor Shui also split into 2. One was the original body and the other was a doppelganger. The 2 Shuiyis and the 2 Qin Yus began to fight crazily. The 2 pairs of figures fought from the ground to the sky, and from the sky to the tall buildings in the distance. Wherever the 2 passed, the buildings collapsed and exploded. The two pairs separated. The two Devil Emperor Shuis looked at the two Qin Yus in disbelief. How is this possible? Your doppelganger also has a divine armor. Devil Emperor Shui was shocked again. Your original body's defense is so strong. What about your doppelganger? The two Qin Yus laughed coldly. I have a lot of divine armor. Are you not convinced? One of the Qin Yus said. Doppelganger. Qin Yu didn't even know the doppelganger technique. How could he have a doppelganger? He only changed the appearance of the sword immortal puppet to look like Qin Yu. In terms of body toughness, even if he wore a divine armor, Qin Yu's body was still inferior to the sword immortal puppet. Even the green blood sword immortal Ji Bai, whose attack was extremely strong, could only leave a wound on the sword immortal puppet with his strongest attack. Devil Emperor Shui wanted to break the sword immortal puppet's body. How was that possible? Two divine armor. Devil Emperor Shui was stunned. Immediately, Devil Emperor Shui smiled fiercely and said, I didn't expect that there would be such an extraordinary person in the immortal, devil and demon realm. You have two divine armor. However, no matter who your master is, you must die. Boiling. The blood in Devil Emperor Shui's body boiled. The two Devil Emperor Shuis rushed in front of the two Qin Yu like two red lights. Their speed was so fast that even Qin Yu couldn't react. Bang! That blood-red battle blade fiercely chopped onto Qin Yu's body. A terrifying energy penetrated through the divine armor. Only 10% of it was left and penetrated into Qin Yu's body. It began to tear apart and penetrate Qin Yu's muscles. You want to kill me? You're still far from enough. Qin Yu desperately controlled his origin life energy to quickly heal the injuries on his muscles. The penetrating energy had only penetrated a little bit before it was healed by Qin Yu. At the same time, the black hole energy within his body was also constantly whittling away the energy. In the end, Qin Yu easily used the black hole to directly swallow and refine the remaining energy. In this way, after passing through the divine armor, the muscles within the body, and the black hole energy, the remaining energy did not pose any difficulty to the black hole. Using the origin life energy to continuously heal, Qin Yu had an immortal body. Brother Luo Yu, how are you? Jiang Yan appeared beside Jun Luo Yu. Jun Luo Yu was watching the battle between Qin Yu and Shui. Fine. It's just that Qin Yu is still fighting with Devil Emperor Shui. Jun Luo Yu shook his head. His face was filled with worry. My strength is too weak. If I was stronger, I would be able to help. Jiang Yan looked at the scene in front of her in shock. Devil Emperor Shui. You're talking about that Devil Emperor Shui. How did Qin Yu end up in such a situation with Devil Emperor Shui? Impossible. Jiang Yan opened her mouth wide. I don't know either. Qin Yu has a lot of secrets. Just now, if it wasn't for Qin Yu using his doppelgangers to protect me from the front and back, I would probably be dead. Jun Luo Yu shook his head and sighed. Just now, when I was nearing death, I suddenly understood something. It's useless to go crazy when you see your enemy. I should cultivate, and wait until my strength surpasses his before taking revenge. You blockhead, you finally understood. Jiang Yan sighed in relief. At this moment, pang! One of Qin Yu fiercely smashed into the ground and was smashed into the ground. The ground of the street shattered layer by layer. Qin Yu. Jun Luo Yu's face changed. He watched as the other Qin Yu's head was smashed into pieces and his body was smashed into the ground. The two Qin Yu were smashed into the ground one after another. One of them even had his head smashed into pieces. Let's see if you're still alive. Devil Emperor Shui gasped for breath. Ui. Jun Luo Yu's eyes were red. You killed Qin Yu. Devil Emperor Shui looked at Jun Luo Yu and laughed crazily. Haha, I killed him. Yes, I killed him. This guy is really hard to kill. I don't understand. Isn't he just wearing a divine armor? Why is he so hard to kill? But he still died in the end. Devil Emperor Shui was very tired from this battle. Qin Yu and his doppelgangers seemed to be undying. The divine armor could protect people, but by relying on vibration energy, 10% of the attack power would still enter the body. In Devil Emperor Shui's opinion, unless Qin Yu was a level 4 or 5 Immortal Lord expert, he wouldn't be able to withstand 10% of the attack power. But from the aura that Qin Yu was emitting, he shouldn't be an Emperor-level expert. He couldn't understand why the energy that entered Qin Yu's body was all useless. Devil Emperor Shui secretly sighed in relief. This undying Qin Yu in the end still died. A person who relied on his sex elders, no matter how many treasures he had, his strength was still a useless trash. Devil Emperor Shui said coldly, "As for you, Jun Luoyu, you can also follow Qin Yu and die." Pang! Clear sound rang out. Two figures shot out from the ground and landed on the ground like lightning. It was two Qin Yu. Immediately after, one Qin Yu merged with the other Qin Yu's body. "You really managed to kill me." Qin Yu smiled and said to the Devil Emperor Shui, "How is this possible?" Devil Emperor Shui opened his eyes wide. "I clearly blasted your head off and even felt your soul escape into your dantian. But my energy should have attacked your soul. Why aren't you dead?" Wearing the divine armor, energy surrounded the entire body. The defense of the head was the lowest. Devil Emperor Shui chopped Qin Yu's head. Qin Yu's soul had escaped into his dantian. Shui's energy frantically poured into Qin Yu's body, wanting to destroy Qin Yu's soul. After all, the soul defense was very low. But Qin Yu was still fine. "You won't be able to kill me." Qin Yu lightly smiled. His body once again split into two. Two Qin Yu once again appeared in front of Devil Emperor Shui. The reason why the sword immortal puppet was blasted to the ground earlier was because the energy of the 9 top-quality elemental spirit stones had been used up. Qin Yu heaved a long sigh of relief in his heart. "Even though I have the divine armor and my life elemental energy unceasingly replenishing it, I am still only able to withstand the power of a level 6 elemental spirit stone. I can barely resist the attack of a level 6 Devil Emperor. If it's any stronger, my black hole will probably collapse after enduring such a powerful attack." After today's battle, Qin Yu finally knew his bottom line. "I still haven't enjoyed the battle earlier. Let's continue." Qin Yu stared at Devil Emperor Shui. Devil Emperor Shui's pupils shrunk. A person who wasn't even an Emperor-level expert, yet he was unable to kill him. How could he not be puzzled and shocked? Divine armor and even a clone. 2 divine battle armors. Who was his master? Is there such a person in the immortal devil and demon realm? Even if he has a divine armor, I reckon that even a level 3 Devil Emperor wouldn't be able to withstand 10% of my attack power. How could his body withstand it? Devil Emperor Shui's heart was filled with doubts. Facing Qin Yu's challenge again, the only thing he felt was a headache. Chapter 359. Boom! The sound of thunder became louder and louder. Rain continued to pour down from the sky. However, when the rain approached Qin Yu, Devil Emperor Shui, Jun Luoyu and the others, it naturally retreated. It was as if even the rain was afraid of them. Facing Qin Yu's challenge again, Devil Emperor Shui's face had a trace of a strange expression. "Qin Yu, you want to challenge me?" Devil Emperor Shui no longer had the headache from before. Instead, he looked at Qin Yu with a meaningful smile. The 2 Qin Yus coldly looked at Devil Emperor Shui. What's the matter with Devil Emperor Shui? Qin Yu had some doubts in his heart. According to his expectations, Devil Emperor Shui should be having a headache. With red hair as bright as blood, Devil Emperor Shui suddenly laughed loudly. Then he stared at Qin Yu and said, "I once heard my father say not to deal with a little girl. This little girl has 2 extraordinary divine artifacts. Although her strength is only that of a level 1 immortal emperor, even I am unable to harm her. Jun Luo Yu and Qin Yu were slightly startled. They couldn't help but look at Jiang Yan. This Devil Emperor Shui Yi was obviously talking about Jiang Yan. Devil Emperor Shui Yi continued. In other people's eyes, they might think that this Jiang Yan's master is very extraordinary. Just by bestowing her 2 divine artifacts, she is able to make a level 1 immortal emperor, and even a level 6 or 7 immortal emperor, unable to harm her. Perhaps many people would envy this little girl. However, Devil Emperor Shui Yi's mouth had a trace of disdain. In my eyes, this little girl is only a piece of trash who has treasures but only good luck. She has 2 divine artifacts. Her defense might be very strong. Even if she stood in front of me, I wouldn't be able to harm her. However, what about her attack power? A level 1 immortal emperor, even if she has a divine artifact, her attack power wouldn't be that strong. I simply look down on this kind of person who can't threaten me in the slightest. Devil Emperor Shui Yi looked at Qin Yu. And now, among the people I look down on, other than that lucky little girl, there is also you, Qin Yu. Qin Yu was slightly taken aback. You have a divine artifact armor. And even your doppelganger has a divine artifact armor. Even your weapon is a divine artifact. Also, when my attack entered your body, it couldn't kill you. You probably have some kind of Yuanying protection treasure in your body. Demon Emperor Blood Robes looked at Qin Yu with disdain in his eyes. After fighting with you for so long, I completely understand. You're as defenseless as that lucky little girl. However, its attack power was very weak. Even if you have a divine artifact, you can't hurt me. I can completely ignore your existence. Demon Emperor Shui Yi slightly raised his chin and coldly looked at Qin Yu. Don't be unconvinced. If you are unconvinced, you can come and attack me. I will stand here and not resist. If you can kill me, I will die with no regrets. Qin Yu fell silent. Can I kill him? Qin Yu asked himself in his heart. His body was protected by a divine battle armor, and he also had life elemental energy. Inside his body was a black hole with an extremely strong defense, and not a weak Yuanying. This allowed him to not die under Demon Emperor Bloodrobe's attacks. However, what about his attack power? Even if he had the divine sword Sky Piercer, with his own strength, he could use the divine artifact, Sky Piercer. Even if this Demon Emperor Bloodrobes only had a set of top-quality demon armor, with his level 6 Demon Emperor power infused into the armor, he could definitely defend against Tang Qingshan's attacks. Even if he used his domain, Tang Qingshan wouldn't be able to get close to him. Not saying anything, Demon Emperor Bloodrobes slightly smiled, then looked at Jun Luoyu. Junlu, your good brother Qin Yu is too weak. Even if he has so many treasures, it is impossible for him to harm me in the slightest. If I want to kill you with his strength, it is impossible for him to stop me. You prepare to die. Demon Emperor Bloodrobes held the divine artifact Battleblade with one hand. Suddenly, Red-Headed Ghost. An angry shout sounded. Red-Headed Ghost, didn't you hear me? This lady is calling you. Don't look around. I'm talking to you, the one with the wood-chopping knife. The successive angry shouts made Demon Emperor Bloodrobes realize that the lady was calling him. Demon Emperor Bloodrobe's gaze turned cold as he looked at Jiang Yan. Red-Headed Ghost. Wood-chopping knife. Demon Emperor Bloodrobe's body emitted killing intent. Jiang Yan angrily stared at Demon Emperor Bloodrobes. You red-headed ghost, what did you just say? You said Qin Yu is a trash with treasures. You said he is the same as that lucky girl. That's right. Demon Emperor Bloodrobes nodded. He is a trash. That girl is also trash. Her strength is so weak, and she only relies on the treasures bestowed upon her by the elders of her sect to protect her little life. Her attack power is so weak. I've always looked down on people like that. Say that again. Jiang Yan's eyes seemed to be burning with anger. Little girl, are you also looking for death? Demon Emperor Bloodrobes was baffled. Jiang Yan gnashed her teeth and said word by word. I am the lucky little girl you said. You! Demon Emperor Bloodrobes was startled. That's right. Didn't you say I was weak? You said I am a trash with treasures. You bastard. Zhang Yan's figure suddenly changed. 1 became 2, 2 became 4, 4 became 8. 1 Zhang Yan suddenly became 8 Zhang Yans. 8 Zhang Yans surrounded Demon Emperor Bloodrobe's. Something's not right. Demon Emperor Bloodrobe's face changed. Where is your real body? How can the 8 doppelgangers have the same strength? If you have the ability, then go and find it. Zhang Yan said angrily. Immediately, a weapon similar to a red ribbon shot out from the hands of the 8 Zhang Yans. In an instant, the area surrounded by the 8 Zhang Yans was filled with red ribbon weapons. Qin Yu kept the sword immortal puppet and walked to Jun Luoyu's side. Luoyu, what secret technique did Yana use? How did she use the doppelganger technique? All 8 doppelgangers have the strength of a level 1 immortal emperor. Which one is the real body? Qin Yu was very shocked. Zhang Yan's doppelganger technique was a bit too terrifying. 1 turned into 8. 8 Zhang Yans actually had the strength of the real body. Who knew which one was the real body? Jun Luoyu smiled and said, Qin Yu, there are 8 positions inside the divine weapon Sky Shifter. That time, I only borrowed Yen'er's divine weapon and was unable to fully display the might of the divine weapon Sky Shifter. Yen'er is now relying on the divine weapon Sky Shifter to create 8 doppelgangers. As for that weapon, it is the divine weapon Heavenly Mirage Net. Qin Yu understood. Yen'er rarely flips out, but when she does, it is still very terrifying. Even if this demon Emperor Bloodrobes doesn't die, he will have to suffer, Jun Luoyu said confidently. Looking at his expression, he was not worried that Zhang Yan would be at a disadvantage. Qin Yu was slightly relieved. He carefully looked at the battle in front of him. He saw the 8 Zhang Yans constantly changing positions, as if they were teleporting. At the same time, the Heavenly Mirage Net's attacks covered the sky and earth. No matter how powerful that demon Emperor Bloodrobes was, he was unable to break through the Heavenly Mirage Net's attacks. The Grand Demon Emperor Bloodrobes was trapped in that area by Zhang Yan. Who asked you to look down on me? Didn't you say that I was trash? You said that I was a lucky little girl who had treasures for nothing. Zhang Yan angrily cursed as she attacked. At this moment, Demon Emperor Bloodrobes was very distressed. Relying on the divine armor and his vigorous strength, he would not be injured. But the Heavenly Mirage Net contained both defense and attack. Within the attack there were also all kinds of illusion techniques. With one attack, endless illusions appeared continuously. Furthermore, no matter how hard Demon Emperor Bloodrobes fought, he was unable to break through the Heavenly Mirage Net. Endless illusions. An unbreakable heavenly phantom encirclement. Just like that, Demon Emperor Bloodrobes was trapped. Phew, I'm tired. Zhang Yan's figure moved and the 8 of them merged into one. Zhang Yan instantly arrived beside Qin Yu and Jun Luoyu. Wrinkling her nose, she raised her head to look at the 2 and proudly said, Big brother Qin Yu, big brother Luoyu, what do you think of my strength? Powerful enough, right? Powerful, powerful, Qin Yu said with a smile. Of course, he could tell that when Zhang Yan's 2 divine armaments worked together, not only could she quickly escape, she could also form a large formation to attack. Even Demon Emperor Bloodrobes, who possessed a divine armor, was forced into such a sorry state. One could imagine how powerful these 2 divine armaments were. Compared to them, his own defense was still slightly inferior. Red-headed ghost, do you admit defeat? Zhang Yan stared at Demon Emperor Bloodrobes and said. Demon Emperor Bloodrobes had just escaped from the endless illusions and attacks. Facing Zhang Yan's question, Demon Emperor Bloodrobes slightly admitted defeat. He coldly snorted and said, That divine armament can actually create endless illusions. It is indeed powerful. You mean that my strength is not enough? Then let's fight again. Zhang Yan was about to attack again. Demon Emperor Bloodrobes couldn't help but feel a headache. When facing Qin Yu, he was still able to gain the upper hand and even trample on Qin Yu. However, when facing Jiang Yan, he, Demon Emperor Bloodrobes, didn't even have the chance to fight back. Your strength is not bad. At least, your clone technique is the strongest I've ever seen. To be able to train your clone technique to the point where your clone is as powerful as your original body, I reckon that there aren't many people in the entire mortal, devil and demon realm who can do that. Admirable, admirable. Demon Emperor Bloodrobes barely managed to find something that he admired and slightly complimented her. Qin Yu laughed in his heart. Clone technique. This was merely a function that came with the divine armament spaceshifter. That's more like it. Jiang Yan was perfectly satisfied. Demon Emperor Bloodrobes completely understood the situation on the battlefield. This lucky little girl, her strength is clearly inferior to mine. However, she has a divine armament as well as an extraordinary clone technique, enough to trap me. With her here, it would be very difficult for me to kill Qin Yu and Jun Luoyu. Demon Emperor Bloodrobes pondered in his heart. Qin Yu killed my beloved disciple and Jun Luoyu seduced my wife. These two must be killed. Looking at the situation, I can only sneak attack. In the end, Demon Emperor Bloodrobes could only make such a decision. Times Qin Yu was paying attention to Demon Emperor Bloodrobes all the time. His character is similar to that Guanu's. He would definitely not give up. Perhaps Demon Emperor Bloodrobes would disregard his identity and directly launch a sneak attack. I'm not afraid of his sneak attack, but Luoyu doesn't have a divine armor to defend himself. At this time, Jiang Yan was still boasting to Jun Luoyu and Qin Yu. To be able to cut down Demon Emperor Bloodrobe's prestige, Jiang Yan was very proud. Suddenly, boom! Collision sound was heard. Immediately after, two figures flew in two different directions and smashed several walls. These two figures once again flew back. They were precisely Qin Yu and the Devil Emperor Shui. Demon Emperor Bloodrobe's expression was very ugly. Bloodrobes, you want to launch a sneak attack? I've already been paying attention to you. Qin Yu touched his shoulder. Earlier, his shoulder had taken a hit from Demon Emperor Bloodrobes. Even with the divine armor's defense, Qin Yu still suffered some injuries. However, his origin life power instantly healed him. Demon Emperor Bloodrobes, you are after all a level 6 Demon Emperor. You actually launched a sneak attack on us. Truly glorious. Jun Luoyu said angrily. He never thought that the proud Demon Emperor Bloodrobes would actually launch a sneak attack. Jiang Yan's expression also changed. Jun Luoyu, Qin Yu, consider yourself lucky this time to have a lucky little girl by your side. Trash like you can only hide behind women. Demon Emperor Bloodrobes said with a sneer. After he finished speaking, he turned into a ray of light and flew towards the east. However, this ray of light bounced back at an even faster speed. Rumble! Demon Emperor Bloodrobe's body smashed into the ground, causing the ground to crack open. Demon Emperor Bloodrobe's body flew out from the ground in a blink of an eye. Bloodrobes, you are a level 6 Demon Emperor, yet you dare to insult two juniors. Isn't this a bit too excessive? Didn't you think that you are very strong? I Wu Ming will spar with you. A clear voice resounded in the sky above East Star City. A golden light shot over from afar and landed in front of Qin Yu, Jun Luoyu, and Jiang Yan. It was Dragon Clan's number 2 expert, Ao Wu Ming. Ao Wu Ming. Demon Emperor Bloodrobe's eyelids twitched. His complexion became even paler. However, his gaze became even colder. Yes, it's me. Ao Wu Ming stood as straight as a spear. His long golden hair fluttered wantonly. The two people's auras immediately showed who was superior. Who was Ao Wu Ming? Even level 7 Demon Emperor Shui Yiling and level 7 Immortal Emperor Ji Bai were no match for him. This level 6 Demon Emperor Bloodrobes was still quite a distance away from Shui Yiling. In front of Ao Wu Ming, he did not have any ability to resist. Bloodrobes, There are two great experts in the dragon clan that you must be careful of. There's no need to mention the Dragon Emperor. Even your father admits that I am inferior to him. As for the other prince of the dragon clan, Ao Wuming, although he is only a level 7 demon emperor, he is a 5-clawed golden dragon. His true strength is not below your father's. Although you possess a divine armor, Ao Wuming possesses the strongest and most unyielding divine spearbreaker. In front of him, it's hard to say whether or not you will be able to keep your life. His father's words appeared in his mind. Demon Emperor Bloodrobe's right hand that was holding onto the battle blade had turned white. Wuming, long time no see. It is my son's fortune that you are willing to condescend to guide him. A cold and indifferent voice resounded in the sky above East Star City. A figure flashed from afar and arrived nearby. Long black hair fluttered in the wind. His handsome face made it hard to determine his age. Furthermore, he was wearing an elegant white robe. Judging from his appearance and temperament, the person who came seemed to be a noble and virtuous white-clothed scholar. Father! Demon Emperor Bloodrobes saw the person who came and merely greeted him before standing to the side. The person who came was Blood Demon Emperor Shuetianya. You're tuning in to the Whispers of Romance YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.